population of the planet Earth. And so I think this is a normal progression. And you think that kind of sort of connection to the rest of the world, and then adding sensations like being able to share telepathically emotions and so on, just further deepen our connection to our fellow humans.
Get set up here.
I disagree.
You get Longshanks. You got Longshanks.
Most scientists would say that
This is the
technology
King
is
Longshank.
a double-edged
Hang
sword.
on, Michio. You gotta be quiet. Be quiet, Michio. I was listening to another one of my teachers this morning. Is my mic on? Camera's working. His Facebook is going. Okay. I was listening to my teacher this morning. My other teacher. Got a lot of teachers. Michio Kaku. All right, let me make this public so when people come in, they can share. Caring is sharing. Caring is sharing. So you can go amongst your other little groups of people and fight and argue. I heard something good. What was he just talking about? As I share this out, he was just talking about how throughout most of human civilization, we've only known about 100 people. I found that to be interesting. It's like the first time that we have to work on this sensing other people that look weird and different and think differently. What I want to talk about today, that's Michio Kaku. That's another one of my teachers. I want to talk about a couple things. Watching the thread, watching people lose their minds. I still don't know why y'all trust the kings. Who was I listening to? I was earlier this morning. I was listening to another teacher of mine. Who said this? Who said this? Oh, actually, this one was Sad. It was Sad Guru. He said, the kings always have the fastest horse. What possibly could that mean? How could you apply that to your day-to-day on Halloween day? Happy Halloween, every Halloween. Actually, not how to apply that to Halloween, but how to apply that to regular life under kings and lords. People pretend like they're not kings and lords anymore because they just want to worship them. I know you got kings and lords. Please stop trusting them. Please stop trusting them. They have the fastest horse in every battle. Win, lose, fail, draw, they always gonna get away. They always get away. That dang king, that goddamn king. Not just physically, because I'm not talking about like physically they got the fastest horse. I mean metaphorically, censorship-wise, media-wise, get out of jail free card-wise, where everybody think you die wise. They're all kind of, the king has the fastest horse. The king never dies. The king, he never dies. The kings die of old age. Why? Because we give them the fastest horses. We train the horse, we feed the horse, we take care. Hang on. I'm having fun. Let me see, I shared over there. Let me see, did my spelling, is the spelling right? We got the king's spelling right? Let me see, keep calm. Remember, the kings have the fastest horse. They damn sure do. That remember looks funny. Somebody check me on my spelling while I posted. I got something to post before I can bring the comments up. Oh yeah, because we were on string theory too. This is why it gets creepy. Every time I think I know something, I'm just like, realize how little we actually know. String theory, right? Let me post. I think we're good. String theory. Everything's connected by tiny strings, and the only ones you see are the vibrating ones. There you go. That's the only thing you see. Our false realities. Boom, posted. Never trust your lying eyes, baby. Never trust your lying eyes. There's a reason why when the Lords die, they have the media come and show you. When the Lord gets away, they have the media come and show you taking the body out, because you'll believe it. It's imagery. You can't see the king has the fastest horse. He saw you coming. King always gets away. The king always, and this is why he's got that arrogant look. Look at his face. Y'all see his face? Does he look worried? Look at the king. Does the king look worried at all? Does Longshanks, let me move over here real quick. Does Longshanks look worried at all? Is he worried about you monkeys? Is he having some sort of a fit? Is he concerned? Or do you understand? Look at his eye. Look at his eye. It's like a tiger. Who was that yesterday? Was that Megan yesterday? So you stare in the eyes of a lion. That was the whole first part of my morning. He said, stare in the eyes of a wild animal. No. I spent the whole morning watching wild animals eat people. Staring in their eyes. Don't stare in nature's eyes. No. We don't have that no more. But the kings always had the fastest horses. But look in his eyes. Does he not look like he's worried? Nah, he's got a whole army of monkeys. Look at him. He look like the Pentagon, don't he? Look at him. He's got that Pentagon. I ain't worried about it. All I gotta do is say that he died in prison, that poor people done killed him, and I can't even say the name because apparently they're deleting videos and memes and commentary and everything because y'all not allowed to talk about that. Brother texted me yesterday and asked me about that. I just say, you know what? You don't actually have to watch the news, brother. I told his brother Tyler. So you don't have to watch the news to know what's going on in your world. You actually don't. The news, for me, for the most part, is just confirmation that I ain't crazy. Confirmation that the kings are still up to what they always been up to. All you need is some common damn sense, a little dab of history, and a touch of reason. That's all you need. Nothing's changed. That's why I call it the old. I don't call it the news. I call it the old. Because nothing changed. Why would they change the old? It's still profitable. We still believe it. You know, he asked me, he said, well, you know, the Fox News, they even said that. I said, hold on, wait. For who? Wait, who? Now, who? Check your source, brother. So now if the mainstream media is accepting it, I'm a little bit of a skeptic, y'all. A little bit of a skeptic. Hang on, let me change the music. Oh, dang, is the daggone comment thing still jumping? That's so annoying. But this is everybody's thread. I was watching Ty yesterday. His thing was jumping too. I could barely follow the comments. Let me see. This is what I'm gonna do. Change the music, and we're gonna go ahead and get started because I can't even tell if people are still coming in because the thing is jumping. Let's go to the discussion music. Let me check my volume. The king always has the fastest horse. Just remember that. That is a metaphor, it's an analogy I'm working with today. I like analogies. Why do I like analogies? Well, because they create commonalities, right? We all watched Braveheart, didn't we? Anybody watch Braveheart? You need to go home. All right, well, we've all watched a movie, and the kings are always on the horses. Why? Because, damn it, they need to get away. They don't believe in the war like you do. Oh, no. That's why nobody from the Pentagon, they don't go to war. Hell no, they stay right on that airplane. They stay right in that Pentagon. They ain't gonna go there and fight with your poor children. Hell no. Hell, why would they do that? The cowards. They're cowards. But my leader wasn't a coward. He fought in the Vietnam War. Okay, let me ask you a question. My father was he was in the military during the Vietnam War. He served in a different place. But I say this, just because you in the military during the war doesn't mean that you're doing heroic things. And outside of that, I'm gonna ask you a question. How heroic are you if you're in an airplane? How heroic are you if you have a good breakfast in the morning, you get on an airplane, and you go drop bombs and Agent Orange on children for a little while, drop them on the jungle, and then you get home time for lunch. How heroic is that? I'm not putting down any veterans from the Vietnam War. I came from a family of veterans. I came from a military family, but they did what they were supposed to do for biscuits, the same what I'm doing right now. Same thing you doing right now for these big corporations in Beverly. But the king always has the fastest horse because the king ain't going into battle. King ain't going into battle. Hell no. Hell no. King ain't going nowhere near your battle. King doesn't even believe in the battle. That's why he's got the fastest horse. He believes in robbing and stealing. And you believe in the king. So the king can be arrogant. The king can be arrogant as they want to be. I'm not even sure this was going to go. But they always got the fastest horse. They know where you're going. They know what you're going to think. My brother asked me yesterday, he said, well, you know, you're right. I said, well, I don't know that I'm ever right. I just use my brain. Common sense, a little bit of analytical thought. Look at the data, check the history, look at what they're saying and what they're not saying. So you're right, apparently. That's a bad Tyler voice, I shouldn't do that. Love you, bro, sorry. Apparently, he's a young guy, he's a millennial. Apparently Epstein didn't kill himself. So yeah, I know. He didn't do that. I didn't try to tell you that. I didn't. All you gotta know is about 1-2 people in American slave prisons to understand how that works. And then he said, well, so someone else killed him. I said, well, I don't know that I believe that. I'm a little old, Brother Tyler. I haven't been here a minute. And I hadn't seen this stuff my whole life. You know anybody in the prison system, you should probably talk to them. Nobody touches the big dog's boy, okay? If the big dog on the block, everybody bends over. Like, because people, they like to just try to make you think that, oh, the people in prison are wild. Nope. They got their order, just like you got your order. You don't have a touch. The, how they put it? The big dog, I guess in different prisons they call them different. You don't ever touch the big dog's boy. Right? They call in the shots. Don't nobody get scraped, scarred, stabbed, beat down unless it's under approval. Got to get authorization. You got to fill out the form in triplicate. Okay? So I just found it odd, because this is what I do. I just look for odd things. Things don't make no damn sense. Why? I was thinking about outside of the fact ain't nobody gonna touch him because the people he worked for own prisons, own prison industries, and own nations. Ain't nobody touching that man. Outside of that fact. I said, how long did it take to do an autopsy? When did he die? or when did they say he died? Oh, hang on, wait a minute. I got a gnat in my coffee. It's trying to give me my vaccination. See right there, see some gnat in the coffee. I'm gonna take them out. I don't need to be vaccinated for whatever the gnats are carrying right now. How long did it take to do an autopsy? One, I just put the data together. Let me see. I don't think it how many? It was about 2 months. Does it take a month and a half to do autopsy now? Maybe they changed some of the procedures. Maybe they got a different chemical or something. Got some new equipment. Why is the king now just telling us this? Why through the king's media? Because some of y'all still believe the news. I think it's always old. Why are they giving this up? Why are they telling us now that he looked like somebody in church? They went and they did this the day after, the damn day after. Why are they just telling you now? Why are they telling the monkeys now? Oh, some poor people killed him. But poor people, whoa, hang on. You try to tell me that people in prison that won't touch a gang member's friend, they're gonna kill a billionaire's boy. That's gonna happen. It's not even one billionaire's, but many. Tops of government. Oh yeah, they're gonna do that? They crazy, huh? Yeah, because poor people crazy. Yeah, that's why poor people kill everybody. Poor people killed JFK, and the poor people that killed Martin Luther King, and the poor people did 9/11, didn't they? Poor people, the poor people are crazy. They ain't got no order about them. There ain't no sense of order in prison because people will believe it. They'll believe it. And so one, I don't think autopsies take that long. Two, apparently the hashtag that y'all was doing, because I don't participate in such criminal activity. I am the king. Hashtagging Epstein didn't kill himself in memes. Apparently that was popular. I didn't know how popular it was. Made it on the news, made it on the old. So add that together and said, the way my mind works, it kind of sounds like people ain't believing this story. People ain't believing this story. Maybe we need to make a shift. Understand this, that the king always has the fastest horse. Always has the, he's gonna make it out of every battle while you're holding your sword in the mud and somebody else trying to stick you in the gullet. So then they released, oh, well, the autopsy says some poor people killed him. Okay, most people believe that. Why? Because the inmates are crazy. They have no sense of order about themselves, and people often believe in it. I don't believe it. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I don't trust the king's press releases. Two, I don't trust the timing of the press release. Three, apparently some people realize that story made no damn sense to logic, common sense, or human anything. And so they served something up. It's like, okay, we got to give them something. Give them something. I don't know what we're going to give them. You got to give them something because they ain't believing it. Oh, poor people killed them. The inmates killed them. The inmates kill pedophiles all the time. Yeah, they do. Yes, they do. I agree with that. That's very true. It's fact. Inmates don't like it. You know anybody in prison, you get to know some people in prison, you'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot. Yeah, they kill pedophiles. But let me add something to that formula. This is a formula. It's never that simple. They kill poor pedophiles that are unconnected. There you go. Jeffrey Dahmer, you get to prison, oh, you out. They're going to take you out. Yeah, they get you. But well-connected pedophiles, oh, no, they run prison. No. Because the key in that word is, the key in the phrase is connected. So no, I don't agree with it. I don't believe it. I know y'all believe it. I don't believe it. Me, the fact that they said that some poor people killed them tells me that man is still alive. That's what it tells me. It tells me, and you know what? I'm in solidarity with every person that's ever been in any sort of abusive situation, raped, taken to an island, the one island that they let the people know about, and raped and abused and beat and just a billionaire's toy, the same way the CIA said they used to give these kids up to the whistleblower. And then hunted and thrown in a hole for another billionaire's game. I'm in solidarity with them. I think when children get hurt, abused, and die, we need to turn over every damn leaf. We need to rip the bark off the trees and know what the hell is going on. That's what I believe. When people are abused, you've got to investigate, not complicate. I was looking for a word that rhymed with it. I didn't know. And I agree with the king ape. I didn't have a word, so I just threw that out there. It doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me. No, I don't agree. And now you're telling me that they're censoring posts, they're taking the memes down, and they're removing commentary to that effect. To me, it tells me that ain't the true story. We ain't got it. I'm not saying I know the true story. Look, I got no evidence for you. I have no evidence for you. I have no evidence. What I have for you is I've been here 45, 46 years, 47. I don't know. What the hell am I? I don't even know. I've been here a long time. Been here a minute. Been in America a minute, and I paid attention in civics class and social studies. My mama was a social studies teacher. I love sociology, and I don't trust the monkeys. Damn sure don't trust the king. Oh my gosh, listen. And in civics, the only thing that ended up being true, my civics teacher was a rebel. I forgot to ask, do they still teach civics in school? Oh Lord. Is that Courtney talking about fornicate? Don't get me started on that. Don't even get me started on that, because you know where that came from. I know, did y'all invite the Christians? Y'all here, y'all Christians? Not the people who believe in Christ, the people who believe in church. the people who believe in pastor. Did y'all invite the Christians fornicate? You know where that word came from? Speaking of that, Courtney, that you mentioned that? It's because the king wanted to be able to swing the royal ding-a-ling. That's where it came from. He created that. God said we're not supposed to fornicate. No, the king altered the scripture because the king wanted prima nocta to go a bit further. And so the king said, no, poor people, you can't do that. You only can have one. That's it. You can only have one. But the ding-a-ling, because why? Because this fits with the topic. I know how Courtney wasn't a plant. She just said that it fits. Why? Because the king got the fastest horse. Metaphorically. King always got the fastest horse. Not just from a DNA perspective, because that's what prima nocta was for. They're always abusing you, and they always claim rights and authority over you. But if they get their DNA and their seed in, what does it mean? That means all your kids gonna look like this. They're gonna have that royal bloodline. Oh no, that's a rabbit hole. Never mind. Shut up, Courtney. I don't wanna go down there. I don't wanna go down. That's a rabbit hole. Oh, that's a rabbit hole. I stay out of that one. The royal bloodline, and all the presidents are within like 7 cousins or something of each other, and the royal bloodlines. And I'm not going there. I ain't going there. It's too much for a Thursday Halloween morning. But the king always has the fastest horse. Apparently, the fastest ding-a-ling. They got the best media. They own people. And what do? We feed the horse. We water the horse. We wash and comb the horse. We braid his hair, make it pretty. Just good little slaves and servants. We believe everything that come out the king's mouth. And the king always gets out of the battle. King always gets away while we're in the mud fighting. And it's not just the kings, it's the lords too. I watch my friends go back and forth, boy. I tell you what, in reference to Trump fighting the deep state. Did y'all invite the Trump people? I hope so. They're my brothers and friends and sisters and cousins, love them to death too. You know what? Here's the problem. I get excited. I see something. I'm like, oh, maybe something's right. Maybe we might have a little bit of a champion somewhere in Washington, D.C., pedophile city. Colonize the central. Christopher Columbus, globalization, blow up the planet and extinct the human population because this makes some sense somehow. So we went from, and this is my emotions, right? Because this is an emotional thing. I get a little emotional sometimes. I think that, you know what? I hope the Trump people are right. I don't think they are. I hope they are. See, that's the difference between me and you. I'm hoping they're right. You know why? Because I live on this damn planet and I live in this damn country. I hope they're right, but I hope the Obama people was right too. I hope a lot of people were. I always hope I'm wrong. Unfortunately, I use this common damn sense thing in critical thought. That's why I have to laugh at stuff and look at string theory, because I don't want this to be the real world. We went from Trump emancipating and proclamating that the slaves done being free with the First Step Act, got the slaves up on stage telling everybody, we're not afraid of slaves. Somebody need to do a quick search and find out who was the president that freed the most brown people from prison. I need to know that statistic. I think that might be interesting. Not the presidents that were forced to. Not the Lincolns that just did it on accident. I need to know the presidents who said, we're going to free the slaves. We're going to free a couple thousand of them and follow through. That scared the hell out you. So I was like, oh boy, my lip was shut on Trump that day. My lip, I knew y'all still out there, Orange Man, bad. I was like, damn it, and that Orange Man, hella good. Hella good. Good act. What is that, Lori? What is that quote? Lori, post a quote. What is the quote? It's not about the people, it's about the act. That was a good act. And the Democrats is that's probably peeing in their pants too. We got all these black folk on stage like he had let us out, he done freed the slaves. Last time Democrats was on that stage, they was selling slaves. The crime bill. And then Democrats pissed me off. Just my emotions, I go back and forth. They pissed me off with that HR 1111, and that was yesterday's emotions. And that swung me in the other way. What the hell is going on? Maybe Trump is fighting the deep state. And then sure enough, I looked at something else. Did y'all look at the new Patriot Act? Did you look at the new Patriot Act? Y'all remember? Did anybody remember Minority Report? Y'all remember Minority Report? You know how all my friends who, because before it was Trump, it was Jesse Ventura. Before that, it was somebody else. But you know, they just freedom, independent, good folk, Republic folk. Patriot Act was a crime. We got a new Patriot Act, and apparently it's got pre-crime. It's got pre-crime. Somebody did a video on that the other day. I watched a portion of it. I couldn't watch the whole thing. Pre-crime. So now you don't have to do a crime. Apparently, if you just think about some terrorism, you can go to prison. This is how it's gonna work. This is how they get you. This is how they get you. There you go, Lori. What is that? There are no heroes, only heroic deeds. That's it. There are no heroes. Don't look for a hero. If you're over 5, you ain't got one. Okay, if you're over 5, your hero is in the mirror. Stop looking at other people's mirrors because they got more jewels to be a hero. I can't even see the comments. This is sick. I know they got them yesterday. Said, you ain't reading the comments. I'm gonna read the comments today. So keep calm. Remember that the king's always got the fastest horse, and you can watch the news. Then you can watch the old. Then you'll understand why they release, what they release, when they release it. You won't know why, because we're always in these different dimensions. There's always different realities of information, and we at the bottom, we at the low. We're at the low. That's why I had to do Michio Kaku today for my emotions. Look up string theory. We only see what's vibrating. You know, everybody knows what string theory is? You gotta know what string theory is, or you're gonna live in a false reality. String theory, Michio Kaku, quantum physics, theoretical physics. Based on some evidence, it's not fact, but based on some evidence, that everything's connected. Everything's connected. Everything is connected. We looked at last week, was that Chandra, the satellite? Everything's connected. Even the planets and solar systems and galaxies and all the people. You got strings connecting you. Electromagnetic strings connecting everything. And the only thing we see is what vibrates. The strings that are vibrating, that's the only thing you see. That's it. You don't see anything. Strings everywhere, those are the only ones you see. It's a little worrisome. It's a little worrisome when you start thinking about the king's got the fastest horse when it comes to that. I gotta change my background. A little worrisome then when you start thinking about it from that perspective. Because we like how we talk about the breakaway civilization. There was something I wanted to look at yesterday in the news and I didn't get a chance. People don't believe I don't watch the news. It's like I don't watch the news. I watch the news here. That's it. I just watch it here because it wouldn't be authentic if I did. When I first see it, that's when you first see it. So we can have a real discussion around it. None of this is staged. I am a real person. I got a real life. I'm not paid for by the CIA. I'm a slave. And, and I don't have time for this. I just think the more we talk, the more we can have common, the more we can do some things that are as a community, and the more common sense we all can have. And by the way, Ty, I am still eating chocolate for Ty. Ty was upset yesterday. I didn't see Ty's video. Ty ain't going through it. Ty, we all got some monkeys on our back, and some of them physical, some of them ain't. Ty, we all connected. It's a string connected, me and you. I know upset, you upset and everything. So I'm just, I read my hippie friends they said chocolate and cacao raises your spirits and emotions. Makes you happy. So Ty, for the sake of you, I've been eating my kids' Halloween candy. I've been eating it up. I've been eating chocolate for Ty, and I'm gonna keep eating it. Do you tell me to stop? Everything's connected. Ty, you feel better? You feel better? Are you feeling better? Because I'm eating this. That's why I got a zip popping out of my forehead, right? Y'all see this right here? I got a unicorn. I'm about to grow a horn right out of my head because I'm like, I gotta eat the kids' chocolate because I gotta make time because we all go through it. It's rough. It's rough getting out of bed in the morning. And for all of y'all, I'm gonna take a segue. I'm gonna take a little segue because I was a little pissed off about Ty's video yesterday. I liked every video Ty Neftali posted. Y'all don't follow him. Y'all need to follow him. I didn't like your video yesterday. I'm upset. I gotta say something. Gotta say something. People, mind your own business, okay? Don't break Ty. Do not change other people. You're stupid, okay? Ty is Ty. Let Ty be Ty. I do not want y'all breaking Ty. Ty, then Patricia too. Don't break Patricia. Don't tell her how to be. Ann, don't break Ann. Ivana, don't break her. Kim, don't break her. Lori, Pat, Adam. All of these people, Deborah, Beaufont, Courtney, you know what you know about Rebecca? Not a damn thing. That's what you know. I mean, if you took all your Rebecca facts, you wouldn't know a damn thing about Rebecca. Jeannie, you don't know nothing about her. John, you ain't got nothing on John. Deborah, you don't know about Trish. You ain't never met Trish. You don't know nothing about no Trish. What you think you know about Trish? All your Trish facts, zero. Don't know nothing about her, what she been through, who the mama is, where she been at, what she dealing with. Stop trying to change people. Keep your criticisms to yourself. All right? Ty asked for criticism. I was pissed off. I was pissed at Ty. Asked me for something. I ain't got no criticism from you. I ain't got no criticism. What I'm gonna tell you? And then Brother Bert gave me a criticism half the time. I do. I got one. It's not a criticism. I don't know what it is. It's an observation. Can I call it an observation? Y'all gonna let me get away with that? Can I get away with the observation? I'm like, look, Ty is important to this community. Ty didn't drop truth bombs like you wouldn't believe. Let me tell you what Ty did for me. You know what Ty did for me? Ty taught me how to care less. I didn't know how to care less. I had no idea how to care. I cared too much. I was just emotional and in my emotions all the damn time. I cared too much. Until I met Ty, Ty was just like, because Ty don't care at all. That's why Ty's beating himself up, because he think he need to care more. And maybe you do. I'm not saying we shouldn't change. I'm just saying you change you. You determine what you need to change. You don't ask these monkeys over here what they, these monkeys, I don't ask me what I need to change in you. I saw an observation. I just said, you know what? Ty is important to the community. I've learned a whole lot of things from Chesterfield, Montgomery, and the rest of Ty's split personalities. We got to make it sustainable. It's got to be sustainable. We talk about that. It's got to be sustainable. Right? Smoking, drinking, not eating organic. I posted a salad yesterday. I had eaten my salad yesterday because I was eating all that damn candy for Ty. I probably got cancer in multiple parts of my body. But it's got to be sustainable. It's got to be sustainable. And the only way that this gets to be sustainable is you find that grounding thing. You gotta be healthy and you find that grounded thing. That's another thing that the king is poisoning everybody with. The king got the fastest horse, the king got the fastest horse. They have vegan chefs that just buy pure grown organic food and all the land they stole from everybody, okay? All right, so let me get back to that. That was just my point on it. So, I know y'all go back and forth and I watch it. I stay out of it because I don't really care because Ty told me I'm not to care. And so I can look at comments and I can just walk away from like, oh Lord, here they go. Make your point, make it out of kindness, make it out of respect, walk away. That's it. That's what I do. That's it, and that's what I do. Because I'm not trying to change anybody. I think you were the best you that you need to be. I ain't trying to change Courtney. I got no information for Beaufont. I got nothing for Kelly. I'm examining myself, and if that encourages anyone to see something in themselves they want to change, then they can do it too. All right, let's get on with it. The king has the fastest horse. They got all the information. They're the gatekeepers. They got the agents in the Matrix. They wrote, if they didn't write the Matrix, they got more power. They got the secrets. They got breakaway civilizations. The breakaway civilization. Now you understand what I'm saying when I say this? They always got the fastest horses. What's the fastest horse when string theory is real and UFO and aliens? What's the fastest horse? A helicopter? What's the fastest horse? See, look at this. Let me show you. Let me show you this. Let me show you. I got to show you pictures, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Got to show the pictures because that's the way the media make it stupid. And that's why the only way I can do this. It's like this. You know how the battle works? Like, look at this. Look at this cat right here. I haven't even looked at this yet. Look at this cat. I'm looking for the example. Like, look at his face. And what is that? Is that a piece of wood? That's a piece. Oh, Lord have mercy. Listen, if the king ever wants you to go fight and steal somebody else's resources, and all he gives you is a piece of wood, is that a garden tool? And look at his face. Look how dirty. Is that a woman? That might even be a woman. Look how dirty his face is. First of all, y'all fighting for the king. You don't get a horse. You get a damn piece of broken wood that you sharpened at the tip of it, and you're fighting people with shields and swords and other kings and lords on horses. This young man, this young lady did not get a horse. This person is stupid, okay? The king, see the king behind them? This is a king or lord or it's a knight. They're on horses. You know, however this battle goes, he's gonna die. He's gonna die because one, he ain't got a horse, and if he did, it ain't the fastest horse. The king and the lord got the fastest horse, okay? See how that works? He ain't got no, does he got chainmail? Is that chainmail? That might be chainmail. Okay, he got chainmail, but look at this brother right here. He ain't got no chainmail. He gonna die, he gonna die. They on different sides, but the poor people always gonna die. The king gonna live. They got the fastest horse. All right. So when it comes to quantum physics and electromagnetic gravitics and Bob Lazar and all the stuff I love to talk about, the king is a breakaway civilization. This king, or that lord or that knight, when this battle ain't going the way that he wants it to, he's gonna remember, damn it, I got kids at home. Damn it, I got 4 wives at home. I got prima nocta at home. Shoot, I got another Epstein Island. I ain't telling nobody about it. Because you know Epstein Island just do that. That was the giveaway island. You know that, right? You know how when you find bugs, you ever find a bug in your house? Anytime our loving acronym agencies, they come and they want to know what you're doing because your phone you don't keep it charged. They used to they put bugs in your house. But they always put a bug, one for you to find and a bunch for you to know. Why? Because they make you feel good, right? You found a bug, like, oh, I found the bug, I got it. I guess a good example today would be your smartphone. You go, I don't know, download black ice or something, you know, malware searcher. You find the malware. I found the malware. I'm safe. All of my naked pictures and dick flicks and now all of that's safe now. All my coochie clips, they're not being uploaded to the NSA database. I'm safe now. They're not going to Google. There's always some you don't find. They always release that because it makes you feel like you're smart and you did something. Oh, I didn't found the bug. I'm good to go. You're never safe. There's nothing safe about having an oligarchy. There's no safety. That's the one they put out there for you to find. And that was my thought on the whole autopsy thing. It's just like, you know, this is really suspect. Like, why are y'all letting us know this now? You couldn't have told us at the beginning? Oh, you were waiting to see if we were gonna buy the story. Okay, and they make you think that you're smart and you feel good. You get that endorphin, like, yeah, I told you I was great. Epstein didn't kill himself. I told you, poor people did it. Oh, dang, that unicorn is coming out here. Whew. All right, Ty, you better feel better because I can't keep eating this sugar. The kids gonna be pissed off. I'm gonna have all kind of stuff on my face. But anyway, here's my point. So this is a breakaway civilization right here. See, just imagine this king is on a UFO and he's building colonies on the moon and Mars, all the places all the other whistleblowers told you about that you didn't believe it because it didn't seem like it was true. And poor people, the crazy ones that kill the rich people in prison and kill our rich leaders and our civil rights marchers, all the poor people that kill our presidents, there's no way they would tell us the truth. The king the king is the one that look at this eye. Let's go back to the king. Sometimes people forget. Why it doesn't look like lion eyes to you? You like a lion? I like eyes. I like to look at eyes. I look at eyes all the time, except for women. I don't look at women's eyes. Women that jack you up. No, I don't look at women's eyes. Nope. Hell no. I don't like to be controlled. I don't like it. But look at his eyes. Doesn't he look like I like me some eyes because you can tell. You can see things about the soul. You can see in the string theory through people's eyes. It's like he telling the truth. Like he tell you the truth. He probably tell you more truth than your wife, wouldn't he? He'd tell you more truth than your neighbor. He'd tell you more truth than all these people. You don't know them. These are poor people. All these people right here, they ain't got nothing to do. They work for a living. They all poor. I know some of them millionaires over here, but they all work for a living. They poor people. They don't tell you the truth. They kill people in the media. All right, let's do this. Here's something I wanted to look at. Something I saw yesterday. We didn't have time to get to it. Breakaway civilization. But anyway, that's my point. Is just trust that the king always has the fastest horse. Just trust that. The king always gets away. You're the one that's going to be left in the mud. You're the one that's always going to get lied to. When the flood comes, they're going to get on that ark. When the asteroid comes, they're going to get on that electromagnetic device. They're going to do. And the funny thing is, it's like they don't even hide it. Because that's what Elon Musk is doing. Elon Musk like, listen, I'm going to go live on a can. Go live on a can on Mars. was something I saw yesterday. Oh, let me put it again over here. Doom. Doo-doo. All right, there we go. Oh, dang, it's raining outside. Was somebody playing with that damn herp shit? Oh, look, Epstein is in the news. Is that on RT? New evidence puts Epstein's suicide in doubt. I know, but once again, it's not new. We can just do it from the titles alone. We don't actually have to click on anything. It's not new. It's not new evidence. It's just now it's new to you. It's like ask people, so you got a new car. Yeah, I got a new car. You got a new car? No, it ain't new. It's new to you. Okay, it's new to poor people. This is new evidence for poor people. The wealthy, the Democrats, Republicans, left, right, Washington, the European governments, the EU, who was it? Was it the Vatican, Israel? All them people that have been over there chilling on Epstein Island, making their fantasies and dreams come true like it's Disney and kids are free. They knew this a minute ago. They did the autopsy the day after. They only released it to you now. So what you gotta ask yourself, it was some common damn sense. Why are they telling you now? So I'm not clicking on that. I just look at the title right there. All right. See, you don't have to watch it. Why? You don't even have to watch it. String theory, string common sense theory. Everything's connected. You pick up from the headline alone that there's going to be limited truthful information. So I don't really need to watch it. Plus, the other thing is your subconscious. Everything that you watch, your subconscious thinks is in is true. And I don't need them lying to me any more than what they've already been my entire damn life. And I love RT. In order to have a network in the empire, you can't tell 100% of the truth. If you tell 100% of the truth, you lose your network or you die. So now I tell 100% of the truth, like Noam Chomsky and everybody else. Everybody's got something. You can only go but so far. If you get successful at it, then you don't get to stick around. I heard about somebody posted that. Max Blumenthal got arrested for assault. Is it political? I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no idea who the hell Max Blumenthal is, and I really don't care. I don't know who he is. I heard his name. I know people talk about him. I don't do kings and leaders and entertainers. I don't, if you sing about love and happiness, you do a really good movie helping me in my current world, I know who you are. But I never met the brother. Is his arrest, he was arrested for assault. Well, yeah, we all assault each other on a regular basis. Is it political? Probably. I don't know. I don't blame the police. So if somebody sent them to arrest them, probably makes some sense, I guess. Y'all want to have an argument about some politics? Get your indoctrination and my indoctrination and the political party that fits best with that indoctrination and kind of argue about false reality? Not really. Not really. Turkey livid as U.S. recognizes Armenian genocide. Is the U.S. recognizing Armenian genocide really? Yeah, but as I don't know if they are. I'm lying. I'm making that up. I don't know. I didn't even watch it. But at the core, does America? Because this is the question I want to ask. Does America think genocide is bad? That's what I want to know. Does Turkey think genocide is bad? That's what I want to know. I want to know, do they feel that genocide are bad things? Or are they okay depending on who it is? That's the question I want to know. Because you can't get into it and have an intellectual discussion on it. You got all the data, right? Why are we having this discussion? Because you live in Turkey? You were born in Turkey? Are we having this discussion because you live in Armenia, born in America, or you live in America, born in, and you just want your team to be correct? I think everyone thinks that they're correct in what they do. Everyone always feels they're right, or they wouldn't do it. And I can tell you, systems don't believe genocide is a bad thing. Systems, if you worship them, you have allegiances to them, they always think genocide is a good thing if it's good for the system. That's what systems are. They need the power, and they will do anything for the power. So yeah, I think to me, genocide's always a bad thing. And I think all the active hot genocides America has going right now in Latin America, Africa, throughout the Middle East are all bad things. And those are the only ones that we know about. Turkey, if Turkey had genocide ability, they'd be doing it too. Yemen's another one. Thank you, Lori. Absolutely. Real reason U.S. hates the Russian pipeline. Oil, breakaway civilization. That's it. Ain't nothing else. The king needs the fastest horse. And if everybody's driving around in cars that made of dinosaur doo-doo and dinosaur oil, fossil fuels, then the king's horse will always be fastest. From that perspective, the king needs the fastest horse. Right. That's how you know which genocide is good and bad. It just depends on what's good and bad for the king. The king needs the fastest horse. Do you see how that analogy's fitting in? It'll fit right in. That's why I think there is no truth that's centric to religion or science or anything else. If it's true, it's true. You can apply it across the board. Max Blumenthal, was he arrested for assault? It depends. Does it mean that the king will have the fastest horse? Will the king get the most votes? The king in that kingdom, in that city, if that's New York or wherever it is, will the kings and lords there will let them have the best? If it will, by pushing him out because he's connected to somebody else, I don't even know what's going on with him. But then it makes sense. U.S.-China trade deal blocked by rioters. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I don't like trade deals. I think global trade is stupid. I think international trade is just for millionaires to become billionaires, billionaires to become trillionaires, and I don't think you should trade anything out of your own land that the poor people in your land don't have plenty of. I think you got to make it abundant. I don't believe in power. And when you give millionaires billionaire status and billionaires trillionaire status, then your governments have become useless. Then people don't run the governments. But they don't want to believe it because they live in a false reality. So yeah, I don't believe in it. I think that's a good thing. You should block every trade deal. Nobody should be allowed to trade anything out of their town that they can buy from their town. Oh, that sounds like nationalism. Shut up. The nationalists, they were right on that. See, you see, that's a Thaiism right there. See, I can tell y'all to shut up and I can feel good about it. That's before I was like, no, kumbaya, I can't say that. That's what I'm saying. You can pick up something great from everybody and we become better by looking in what other people succeed with. Okay? That's what I'm talking about right there. Russia slams U.S. over. Russia slams the U.S. over move to seize oil fields. Well, yeah, Russia got kings and lords too. They want the fastest horse too, and whoever get the most oil got the most slaves because they have the most productive economy. Just like whoever has the most satellites modifying the global weather patterns, they get the fastest horse. So of course Russia is going to slam the U.S. because people in Russia stupid. They special. They think they're Russians. People in America, they think they're Americans. Because the kings and lords told them, their lord and saviors told them before they were born that if you're born within these borders, that you were this type of cattle. You get this ear, that little ear number. So that's why that's there. I really don't want to see that. Easy fire threatened Reagan's library. Oh, is Reagan library in California? Easy fire threatens Reagan's library. Well, Reagan shouldn't have a library. I like to burn the library at Alexandria. Susan here, she probably got a great analogy for you on that. Who is, whoa, hang on, potheads, what's going on? Who's a pothead on this site? Oh, Susan, there's a whole bunch of them. It's a whole bunch. Oh, they just talk about drugs all the time. Susan, the DEA is hot on my page. I guarantee you they just watching everybody because they talk about natural medicine all the time. You know why? Because the DEA is a terrorist organization. That's why. They said it's slave catchers. I'm gonna call it how I see it. That's why I don't give two damns about no orange man bad. Y'all slave drivers. Y'all believe in slave catching. You know, they mad at slave catchers in Africa 400 years ago. They're happy with the slave catchers they got right now in the DEA filling up these prisons. No, slave catchers. Leave people alone. It's a whole bunch of them, Susan. They're smart people too. Let me see. I've never done any drugs. I've never done natural medicine. It's been banned because it's a good painkiller and expands your mind. I've never done those. Because I was born and I believed in my indoctrination and a very, very wise lady, well ahead of her time, said, this is drugs and this is your brain on drugs. And it was like eggs frying in a pan, and I believed it. And she said, say no to drugs. And my parents, they thought that she was a wise lady, and so I said, say no to drugs. And all my teachers said that, and I listened. I wasn't as smart as them. I listened till I started realizing that everything in civics was a lie. When I learned everything in civics class was a lie, then I had a problem. Right? Everything, well, okay, that's not true. Civics class was not a total lie. Wasn't a total lie. Civics class was true when you went through it the first day and the teacher said, hi class, my name is Miss Johnson. All facts, real facts. Hashtag real facts. Then all the lies started. And then there was another truth. There was another truth. Let's be honest, another truth. Class, and you have a good summer vacation. And that was it. Everything else in civics class, all a lie. All of it, none of it. It was all trash. It was all what they gave us so the kings could stay in power and have the fastest horse. So we live in a false reality like voting actually changes the system. No, it's a false reality we live in. Voting does not matter. No, none of my ancestors died so I can vote. They all died so I could have a say in my government. And I don't have a say in my government because too many of y'all still believe in civics class. That's why. You're out there voting for the lords that's gonna make our world better. And they all believe in prima nocta and getting their friends out of prison. All right, UK gears up to hold MPs accountable. What's an MP? UK gears up to hold MPs accountable. I don't know, we looked on that, I don't know what that is. Rich Californians are hiring private firefighters to save the houses. Oh, I gotta watch that. I'm sorry, we gotta watch that. Y'all wanna watch that? We should watch this. This might be interesting. Privatization. Told you can stop climate change with taxes. They're gonna use their tax dollars to release for pay tax. They won't stop the fire. Tax dollars.
This story should come as a surprise to absolutely no one. You know how California is battling all these wildfires and people's houses are burning down? Well, turns out if you're poor, you might have a better chance of losing everything. Because rich people are now hiring their own private firefighters.
Yes,
because of course they are.
And I gotta pause that. Why? Why are rich people hiring their own firefighters? Because they know that the real estate market wants to buy the land up. They probably see lasers coming out the sky. But most importantly, because remember, the kings have the fastest horses. That's why. The kings and the lords like fast horses too. That's why. They want your stuff to burn up. They ain't gonna let their stuff burn up. They want the fastest horses. That's how that analogy fits in.
According to the New York Times, rich Californians are hiring private firms to supplement the firefighters that state and local governments provide. It's not something these private firms are advertising necessarily. It's not like they're putting out ads saying we work for government agencies, but if you're rich enough, we'll work for you too, because that might look bad. Instead, they're relying on word of mouth. As one of the owners of these private firms told the Times, it's not who you are, it's who you know. And if you know the right people right now and you have enough money, you can pay these firms to come and battle fires around your home. Now, private firefighting firms aren't a new thing. They've been around for decades. What is new is that they used to just contract with government agencies, not rich homeowners. That's the new part. Some are even cross-training security guards to fight fires so that rich people can have a combo private security firefighter guarding their mansions on a subscription basis. And with more fires expected to burn every year thanks to our changing climate, these firms expect to be doing a lot more business with private homeowners in the future. Which makes sense. I mean, really, if you were rich and a fire was threatening your house and you could afford to have firefighters on guard for you, wouldn't you do it? It makes sense. I'd do it if I were a rich person in the same circumstances. But I like to think I'd be such a nice rich person that if my neighbor's mansion were about to burn down, I'd let them use my private firefighter too. Of course, many people are outraged, saying this is just one more step toward the dystopian future where the rich and the poor are even more divided. To which I say, yep, that makes sense too.
Oh, this is so delicious. It's so delicious. I love it. I love it. Y'all see in that picture? What am I looking at? What's in that picture? The floating city, the breakaway civilization, Elysium. The place that your kids ain't gonna live, okay? They ain't gonna live under there. They're gonna live on the bottom. See that bump right there? That's the bump. That's the trailer park community that's stacked on top of the one little area they're gonna let all your kids live. Right there. They live here, you're gonna live here. Why? Because the kings always have the fastest horses, and the lords make sure that their horses is just a little faster than yours. Okay, this is what happens when you have incredibly powerful people and economic systems. I think it's hilarious how all of this falls back to some common, basic, simple truths. If you water the king's horse, if you put out the king's fire, if you train you're not gonna make it. You need to love the next generation a little more than yourself. That's all I'm saying. You need to love the next generation, your kids, more than yourself. You don't want them in this. Y'all know what that trailer park community? Don't make me show. I'll show you. What movie was that? Y'all know the movie I'm talking about. I'm not gonna show you. You know the movie. The one with the kids and they playing the video game and everybody lived on they lived in 20-story high trailer park. They didn't even build buildings for them. They put the trailer on top of your neighbor's trailer on top of your neighbor's trailer because everybody had to live in these little square city places. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's just right there because this is what the world looks like. Are the capitalists here? Did y'all invite them? They should come here. Because you don't have capitalism. You don't have it. I know you believe in free market. You will never have a free market. You are a slave. Slaves don't have. Do the cows have free markets? The livestock have free markets? You don't get to have a free market. You are cronied. You have a crony system that keeps you cronied down to nothing. You don't own any land. Stop pretending you have a capitalistic system. You don't. You never will. These cronies own and run everything. And anytime you catch them, they end up dying in prison. They end up dying in prison. Like somebody posted something real deep. Who was it posted that the other day? I don't know if it was Adam or somebody. Said, another common sense thing. It's like, well, so if this dude Epstein knew enough to get everybody in trouble, all your billionaires and trillionaires and people at the tops of your political parties, all your 2020s, get them all in trouble, do you think they would have let him be arrested? Do you think that they actually would give him time to talk to one investigator that just didn't know yet how the world works? Do you think that they would give him time to make a deal? Do you think that they would give him time? No, they wouldn't. They'd have killed him right away. He knew he wasn't gonna die. He knew he wasn't gonna die. That's common damn sense. Why? Well, what do poor people do? Hey, look yourself. What do poor what do these kids that y'all starve into joining gangs and the skinheads? What do? Do they let a tattletale get arrested? Do they tie up the loose end or let the tattletale get arrested? Or they make sure that they can get the tattletale out? They make sure they can get him off. They convince him, they pay for a lawyer. They do anything they can to make sure that he ain't gonna pay no price. Either that or they kill him. Epstein knew he wasn't going to prison. He knew he wasn't gonna die. He knew he was safe. The people he worked with own the prison industry and print the money. Okay? That's how that works. Anyway, Elysium, us. All right. Them, us. Them, us. George Carlin, big club, little club. Big club, little club. Big club, little club, right? Big club, and you ain't in it, and they don't send any news from here down to here that's true. They don't do that. They don't send any news that's true. They need you to be happy right here. And they tell you lies. You ever watch the 3% on Netflix? You should watch it. They convinced they would say, hey, 3% of the population every year, we're gonna take you and we're gonna put you up here if you work hard. Does that sound familiar? If you work hard. That's why the other thing is not just poor people don't kill the wealthiest and the leaders all the damn time in prisons, but also poor people are lazy. Anybody ever tell you that before? The poor people don't like to work. The hardest workers, they give you news just to keep you working down here, to keep the food going from down here to up there. That's it. That's all they do. That's it. All right.
It's just another step along the way to where eventually the rich people live in beautiful, temperature-controlled ships in the sky with plenty of fresh oxygen and beautiful flower gardens and lap pools and whatnot, while the poor fight over the scraps of tarp and rotten vegetables that they scrounge for down below here on what's left of our scorched earth. Yep, rich people having their own firefighters in the time of climate change should come as no surprise at all.
It's because it's a big pyramid. It's a big Ponzi scheme pyramid. That was another thing Tide taught me too. There's a difference between rich people and wealthy people. There's a difference. There's a total difference. Rich people got a lot of resources. The wealthy people own the resources. And the rich people keep you where you are. The wealthy people keep them where they are. And the rich people keep the upper class where they are. And the middle class keeps the middle class where the lower class where they are. And the lower class keeps the prison class where they are. That's just how it works. The sick, silly thing, though, is the people in the prisons are probably the freest people. In terms of mind, they were the ones who fought the system, and the system put them where they did. I didn't fight the system. I was a slave. I had total slave mind. I went right along with everything my government told me to do. All right. Kung Fu child prodigy becomes social media. Okay, yep, your kids should learn Kung Fu. I agree with that. I think y'all should definitely teach them. They're gonna need it. Y'all gonna need some Jet Lees and Bruce Lees, and I know that's racist. Let me click on it, because get a kid, where the kids at? Y'all need to have your kid come watch this, because they're gonna need it, because you still voting for kings and lords in Elysium. Look at this.
Let's go over now to the world of sports with Steve Christakis. Steve, the saga continues. Game 7 World Series tonight.
Yes. Now, Manila, I would not place any bets on this game because we have no clue what's going to happen, obviously. And in a wild back-and-forth series, that has us in uncharted territory in terms of road team success. Game 6 of the World Series between Washington and...
Shut up.
And take a look at this martial arts prodigy. Move over, Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee. 9-year-old Wang Xin of China is catching the attention of many, becoming a social media sensation. She began mastering the art of Kung Fu at the age of just 3 with basic skills and excelled every year since. The original meaning of Kung Fu refers to a skill achieved through hard work and practice.
You can't do that. I can't do that.
Definition true, showing off her mind-blowing flexibility and athletic agility, even incorporating weaponry into her routine. But it most definitely is a family affair as well. In addition to Sin, her parents and 4 other brothers and sisters also practice the sport.
See, look at it, look at this, look at this. And all right, this is education here. Y'all watching this? It's education, okay? These are kids that won't be going to the new Epstein Islands. They won't be going there. They're not all the ones that your Democrats and Republicans aren't talking about. The ones they want to keep to convince you that it was only one. It was just an Epstein and he's now dead, killed by poor people. These kids ain't going to the island. They don't want these kids on. Hell no, they want these kids. She had a 9-ring dial. Did you see her with the 9-ring dial? She can do flips and put her foot in her mouth and bend. Hell no, they don't want her no damn Hillary. See, now that's why I'm getting in trouble, Susan. Don't even start talking that. Yeah, because Billy, how often did he go to that island? One island. You didn't even know about the other islands. Clinton had membership. Boy, he didn't even get on over there. They didn't give him a badge. He ain't had no kind of badge. He ain't need a badge. Everybody else had a badge. You know how you go to work, the slave badge. I had to get through the door. I was so happy when I first got my slavery badge. When I got my slavery, I was so happy. The plantation, the master loved me so much. I had access to private areas to get in the little key card. Clinton didn't even have one. He didn't need one. He got the chip. He got the chunk. He had an RFDI something in his wrist or something. He just walked in, was like, zoom. I know it hurts. I know, with an angry face. Did y'all vote for Hillary? Y'all gonna vote? Hey, she's got a vagina. You should put her in office. Then you're gonna have Epstein Island just for little boys and Hillary there. But then again, we don't know. Shoot, she might have rabbits, her island. That woman. There's something wrong with her. Anyway, here's my point. Everybody's voting to keep the Epstein Islands private. Everybody's voting to keep Epstein happy, safe, and secure in the Bahamas or Israel or wherever he is. That's what I kind of think. I think he might be in Israel. That's my theory. I mean, I don't have no evidence. I'm not gonna try to convince you. Don't ask me to convince you. Prove it. I can't prove it. I don't want to prove it. I can't prove it. Don't have time to prove it. Don't even care to prove it. People are still voting for government where the kings have the fastest horses and keep us down with lies. I have no interest in proving it. So you don't have to take down my video. I ain't proving nothing. I lived a minute. I look at the natural world. I observe the humans, and I think short of anything changing, that's how it goes. And I look at the news and I'm like, yep, that's probably how it went. So we don't need Kung Fu kids. We're gonna need some Kung Fu. We're gonna need some Wok Fu, Wushu, Shaolin, Wu-Tang Clan, all of them. Lang Dao and the Second Amendment. We're gonna need all of that because these kids, they're gonna have a hell of a time with these robots. Gerard, you were true reporting. Why listen to any other call? I'm not true reporting, Susan. Don't get me in trouble and say I'm news. Y'all better not. I'm a lie. I'm saying, hell no, I ain't news. I am, look at the old. I'm old. I'm just old. That's what I am. Susan, I'm just old, and I trust my grandfather. I trust my grandmama a lot more than I trust my mommy and my daddy because they indoctrinate a little too much. Because every generation gets less indoctrinated and more indoctrinated. And my friends, I don't trust them at all. They're just entertainment. They believe still that they're blacks and whites and Christians and Muslims, and it's not string theory and everything's connected and the king always has the fastest horse. So I'm just old. That's it. Don't say I'm news. I don't say I'm news nowhere. I got no news for you. I got none. Zero. I got commentary. My commentary is teach your kids
Tuned
karate.
in MLS now. While
Like
the
that.
LAFC set records on their way to winning the support
But don't
routine. But it
don't
most
teach.
definitely
That's
is
a
a
9
family
down
affair
right
as
there.
well. In addition to sin,
Shit, you get her on
skill
Epstein
achieved
Island
through hard work and practice.
Where's
The young
somebody
girl-
out? Just don't do that part right there. This right here, don't do that. That's that's vaccination. Actually, you probably should. That's vaccination right there. Y'all see her right there? But that's voluntary vaccination. That's another thing soon. They're not gonna let you post on no damn social media. You better get your vaccinations. You right there. We did that all the time. We did it all the time. Somebody said, who said that the other day? Bert saying, yeah, on Ty's video, something about, oh, we can't compare to Gerard. I'm like, you can't compare to me, what? Bert, let me tell you something. In terms of being nice and kind, people think I'm nice and kind. I show you the world that I need you to see, sir. Okay? I show you that world, okay? When I was a kid, we used to vaccinate. Did I tell y'all this? We used to swim with snapping turtles. This is how smart I am. As a child, I used to swim with snapping turtles that I didn't know that they grew that damn big. I saw snapping turtles that were like 50 pounds, and I probably weighed 70. And we were we used to swim in the golf course ponds. We used to swim in the golf course ponds and get the golf balls. Why? Because we wanted to get to Elysium, and so my brother figured out how to use me as slave labor because he started to get too big, and the privileged black folk and white folk in that area, they wouldn't buy golf balls from an old-looking brown dude, but they'd buy them from a young one. I was still kind of cute at the time. I had a little afro. My mama kept a lot of petroleum sheen in it, so it was shiny. So we go swimming in the ponds to get the golf balls, and I had no idea. I couldn't put 2 and 2 together, Bert. I had to. I was like, dang, it's a big 50-foot, a 50-pound alligator snapping turtle outside the pond. But I never thought that they went in the pond. I never put 2. We'd catch the little ones and stuff. We'd take them home, put them in aquariums, and we'd feed them and stuff and everything. And it just never processed that we swimming in the pond with like little toes and feet and stuff. And you got these big, massive alligator snapping turtles. The whole point of that story. I don't let you see the dumb part of me. I try not to. I let you see the silly part. I don't let you see the dumb part. No. No compared to Gerard, nothing. He's human like everybody else. I have good days and I have bad days, okay? I build my fantasy world like your elites. I lied. Well, I don't lie. I got curtains. Let's say curtains. We got curtains. We all got curtains. Everybody got curtains. I make sure that my curtains show what need to be shown. I don't show things that ain't need to be shown. All right? People know too much about you, they can cause some real problems for you. No. All right, let's get there. I'm gonna do comments. Is anything else in the news? Other than eating shoes? Oh, that's why I was talking about. I was thinking about the ponds. Is we did that as kids. We vaccinated all the damn time. We ain't never wash our hands. We go out there swimming with the turtles, playing with them, and they pee and poo and everything, and the fish and the frogs. And we go eat a peanut butter and potato chip sandwich. Oh man, that was good. I remember them peanut butter and potato chips. Oh, that was delicious. Just delicious. I miss those. That was good. Erdogan summons the U.S. ambassador after the Armenian vote. Okay. Don't kill people, leave people alone. Armenians don't want to be a part of something, and they shouldn't have to be a part of something. That's just, and there's no such thing as the Armenian people. They're just people, leave them alone. IMF's neoliberalism loses. Left wins in Latin America. Kovalix. I don't know who Kovalix is, but there shouldn't be anything called neoliberalism. There's 7 billion different types of human beings. Respect each other and don't group up because it makes you easier and dumber to control. Why does MSN still quote known Russia bot maker Ben Swan? I like Ben Swan. I don't always agree with Ben Swan. And I don't believe in the whole Russian bot thing that he used to talk to me about all the time. He's Russian, he's a bot, he's an animation, he's not a real person, he doesn't have a real life. I'm like, okay. At least Trump is honest on Syria oil grab. Iran FM. Yes, he is correct. Yes, he is correct. Because it is an oil grab, because the kings want the fastest horses. You know, and the only way the kings keep the fastest horses, they keep us raising the horses and taking care of the horses and feeding the horses and combing the horses. How do they do that? They put just enough truthful things out there. They say just enough truth to keep the left as a left. Just Just enough truth to keep the right as the right. Just enough truth to keep the blacks as the blacks. Just enough truth to keep the whites as the whites. Just enough the truth to keep the Christians as the Christians and the Muslims as the Muslims. So they all can have the fastest horse, because damn it, the Pope had a fast horse too. So does the pastors, they got fast horses. The civil rights leaders, they got faster horses. They got fast horses. You know the real civil rights leaders are the ones who are really standing up for you, the ones that go to prison with you. They don't go to prison. I see a bunch of other people lining up, going to jail and stuff. They go to prison. And you ever wonder why the popular ones get out of prison, but the poor ones stay in there? Might want to think about that. Y'all getting into these movements. You might want to think about that. Your leaders, they always have a faster horse. They got a way out, and they gonna use it. That's why I'm not in any of these little groups. I ain't got nothing to do with no groups. I'm a little too old for games. I don't play those games no more. Drug treatment fraud exacerbates opioid crisis. Yeah, drugs is a thing. What was that quote somebody gave me the other day? I learned so much from y'all. Said something about gateway drug. Gateway. So dang, I have to go to my timeline. I'm gonna have to go to my timeline. Hang on. This was actually pretty deep. I didn't even think about this. I learned so much from y'all people. Y'all such nice people. I mean, you're not emotional. You get emotional. You start telling me about your leaders and the lords you want me to have, then I'm like, oh Lord. It's awesome. Oh, here it is. The real gateway drug is trauma. What does that mean to you? The real gateway drug is trauma. This was deep to me. This was real deep. I forgot who posted it. I stole it from somebody. Well, I like to steal things from your wall. Not bad. No, this one right here. Here we go. Let's shift that over. I can move my big head. I don't want to cover up the king's eyes though. Need to show the king's eyes. Need to keep looking in his eyes. Is Megan here? Megan, you need to stare in the king's eyes. Make the king scared. All right, here we go. It moved up. Somebody commented. Y'all don't comment while I'm doing this. You commenting on the thing is pushing. There you go. If the real gateway drug is trauma, maybe. All right, first we'll stop there. What does that mean? Right? Because you know how I like to say the gateway drugs, cannabis and mushrooms, psychedelic drugs, and all the things that they take from you to keep you safe. If the real gateway drug is the trauma, and then people turn to natural medicines because they're born in an artificially scarce society where there's an Elysium and the wealthy people live up there and the rich people want to get there and they keep you in the mud growing food and not working, but they tell you to work harder and you can't deal with it. You're done with it. You're a woman, you're born in a patriarchal society and you just can't deal with it. So you turn to cannabis, you turn to the natural medicines we use for 5,000 years to deal with the trauma of living in a currency-based system and instead of a resource-based economy. Okay? And you turn to the natural. So the gateway, the beginning of the conversation, the beginning of the story was not drug use. Why is anybody talking about drug use anymore? Why are you calling them drug use? That's just somebody who isn't as privileged as you, perhaps, to deal with the things that's going on where they were born. That's not a reason to put anybody in prison. That's why they have a war on drugs, because you're stupid. Love you. Thank you, Ty. Because you're stupid. I'm allowed to say stupid. You're stupid. You are, because you agree with slavery because you don't like people because you think they're bad people because they do drugs instead of the trauma that they get from artificial scarcity because they're born in society that makes them nuts. So they need natural medicines to deal with this nonsense. You see what I'm saying? That was deep. That was deep. I learned a lot on that. I mean, there's a different way of saying some of the things that I've got from like Peter Joseph and Jacques Fresco and the rest of the geniuses. But this is a good point. Why are you still voting for this crap? There's no war on drugs. It's a war to keep the trauma system, right? Because trauma makes money. Trauma makes money. And then you make it criminal for somebody to go out and get some cannabis because they're sick of dealing with your artificial scarcity legislated by your kings because they want the fastest horses. They know they can have the fastest horses if you slow and walking because you can have some cannabis. That's why I laugh. Like, some mushrooms, you have some mushrooms because they gave you a trauma-based society. Now you don't know where the steps are and the king gets away. You know how the king always has the fastest horse. The king always has the fastest horse. The king always gets out of the battle. They escape every single battle. Epstein had a fast horse, okay? That's all I'm trying to say. Epstein had a fast horse. I'm gonna do comments and I'm gonna go, yeah, it's real fast, a lot faster than you, a lot faster than your intellect. People still, but even if I'm wrong, and I could be wrong, I'm fine to be wrong. That's just how the world works. That's how the world's always worked. The kings always have breakaway civilizations. It's called a castle. And you ain't allowed unless you're selling baked goods. You ain't allowed unless they gonna, I don't know, put you in the gulag or one of them Tower London devices. Okay? Oh, there go Megan. Back on! You stare in his eyes. See if you can scare the king. I'm sorry, that was funny yesterday. I enjoyed that. I always have a good day when I watch animals eating people. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, animals eating people. I don't know why that's funny to me. It's kind of funny. All right, let me stop. Something wrong with me. I watched Faces of Death when I was a kid. I was born in 1956 and grew up in the peace, love, rock and roll something. And I don't know who said it because it went too fast. I had to go through comments because y'all was pissed off at me yesterday. I saw all the comments. You're not reading the comments. I'm gonna read the comments. Let me see exactly. Not cleft. Many cannot deal with the emotional pain, and whatever the other pain that creates lots of health issues. It absolutely does, Susan. And instead of like having empathy for those people, looking out for those people, we call them druggies, and we let the DEA drug catchers go put them in prison like slaves. And we keep voting for it. You're supposed to help people. It's a crisis. People need help. They don't need prison. But prison makes money, and that's why they do it. That's why I think it's funny that Donald Trump released more black people from prison than any other president. I was waiting to say that all day. I try to say it different ways. I think it's funny. I want somebody to get that statistic. Can somebody get a statistic? I want to list all the presidents, and I want to list them if they were categorized racist or not. And how many Hispanic, black, and white people they released from prison, from slavery. I want that statistic. I want it. I love it. That'll be on my wall all day. I just post it up there because I think it's funny. They give you narratives and you believe this nonsense because the king wants the fastest horse. Always gets the fastest horse. Some of y'all still think Donald Trump is the king. Like, oh my goodness gracious. Anyway. Goodness gracious. I don't like how this thing pops up so fast I can't read the comments that well. Trish, I feel all humans are messed up to one degree or another. Yes, Susan, they are, because it's profitable to mess humans up. It's profitable to take away the things that they need so they don't become the great creatures they can become. We literally do take away at birth. When kids are born, it's like a plant. I go to the garden all the time because I'm a grower. That's what I do. Plant needs light, water, food. That's all it needs. Light, water, food, and it knows what to do. It becomes a beautiful thing. It'll make a flower. Human being. All it needs is food, house, water. Damn it, if you shake a little love on it, it becomes a beautiful thing. Natural. That's the natural world. Those are the things that it needs. So when people are born, what do? We keep voting for a government that's artificial scarcity, that takes away their food, takes away their house, and takes away their water at birth. Why? Because it jacks them up. And jacked up humans are profitable, right? They don't become beautiful flowers, they become warriors. And then we blame them for it. But then we keep voting for it and can't figure out how can. That's why I ain't voting today. That's why I ain't voting today. Because y'all take away the things that humans need to grow naturally. As a business. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna do some comments and I'm gonna go. Comments and go. My current addiction is hiking in the woods. Feels so off when I'm not there for a few days. And that's a great addiction to have. So you know the funny thing is most addictions are free. Most of the good ones are free. Most of the good, like somebody like bugs. Who don't like Susan Bugs? Not the angry faces. Find yourself a hobby that doesn't like hold up the matrix. Find yourself a hobby that isn't shopping. Understand shopping isn't a thing. Shopping is an ailment. Shopping is a mental illness that commercials give you through advertising. They program you by showing you advertisements all the damn time to get you to spend as much of the money that you work hard in slavery to get so they can keep you from go back and getting more. That's what it's about. You don't like shopping. I know you think you like shopping. No, you know, you might like new things. You don't like shopping. They program you to consumerism to make you think that you like all of this crap. You know better, you should know better that all that stuff is stolen anyway. It's a black market that you bought it from. You like new things. Like Susan said, you go walk in the woods and you start seeing new things. Oh my gosh, look, it's a rock. Look at that old tree. Look at that bug. Oh my goodness. Have you ever looked at the insects, Susan? They're all different. They're all different. Like, dang, this one look like an alien. This one got blue, green, yellow, orange. This one's staring at me, got the thing. There's a lot to discover in nature. But of course, nature doesn't cost anything. That's the problem. So, all right, there you go. You better get going. Make sure I didn't miss anything. I better get going. Or I can put y'all on the news. I heard Master. That's why I gotta go. I heard Master. I'm just thinking good, boss.
This event is for people that want to get into real estate.
It wasn't just, here's how to flip a house. It's here's how to have a successful business.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, of course, you all know what's going on in California with the fires that have done horrific things out there to the people. And let's go to Natasha Sweet, who is out there. The governor's declared a state of emergency, and she has the latest. Natasha, what's going on out there?
Yeah, well, Steve, firefighters are taking advantage of this brief lull in the winds, and we understand they're working to contain as much as they possibly can before gusts pick back up again tomorrow. And the Getty fire broke out early Monday, sweeping through the star-studded hills of Los Angeles, surrounded by dry brush. The fire ripped through Brentwood near the J. Paul Getty Museum. It destroyed at least 8 homes, damaged another 6, forcing thousands to flee. Officials are asking for patience as residents are wanting to return home.
I know you are frustrated. I know you are impatient. I know you really want to go home. So do our first responders. They know what they are doing. They have looked at the science. They have looked at the winds. They have looked at the maps. They are eager to let you go back. They let folks go back as soon as possible last week in the Palisades fire. They will let you go back as soon as it is safe and practicably possible.
The Getty fire has burned 656 acres and remains at 5% containment. Firefighters in Northern California are attacking a massive wildfire burning in Sonoma's County wine country as another major wind event is forecasted for this evening. The Kincaid fire that broke out last week amid the area's famous vineyards has destroyed 96 buildings, including at least 40 homes. Another 80,000 structures are under threat. The Soda Rock Winery, a historical attraction, was also lost in the flames.
And he put in a decade of love and attention to it, and to have it, literally go up in flames, I think is really heartbreaking.
Nearly 200,000 people were under evacuation orders, mostly from the city of Santa Rosa.
It's quite frustrating. All the resources and everything that's going on is great, but it's very frustrating not knowing, having any idea. But I guess in reality, nobody can go up against Mother Nature.
California's biggest utility, Pacific Gas and Electric, cut off power to an estimated 2.5 million people in Northern California, preventing windblown electrical equipment from sparking fires. More shutoffs are expected in the coming days, and red flag warnings of extreme fire danger have been issued into Thursday. Officials say that gusts could get up to 75 miles per hour. And of course, lingering smoke is impacting the air quality here as well, Steve.
Natasha, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
It's hard to clear through the debris to get right down to the nitty-gritty that is real news.
New details are coming to light in the case of Jeffrey Epstein as more spread between the 2-year Treasury yield and the 10-year Treasury yield.
Several hundred students are staging a sit-in.
The Amazon rainforest, and the blame game is underway. It's time for RT America. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Pennsylvania's natural gas industry generates more than $200 million each year for the Commonwealth and provides thousands of good-paying jobs. But the governor's so-called Restore Pennsylvania plan would threaten that by adding new taxes on energy. Pennsylvania needs modern infrastructure, but not at the cost of thousands of Pennsylvania jobs. Protect Pennsylvania's economy and jobs. Learn more. Visit nosubtax.com.
Hello there, I'm Manila Chan. You're watching In Question, broadcasting live from RT America National Headquarters in Washington, D.C. Here are the stories we're working on for you today. The Pentagon says it's not ready to release evidence to back up their claim that they killed ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Up next, a close-up look at why it took so long to hunt down the world's most wanted terrorist. And so we have covered Brexit, as you know, but have you ever heard of Wexit? We'll tell you what that is and discuss this latest crisis gripping Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau just north of the...
This event is for people that want to get into real estate.
It wasn't.
Well, it's been nearly 3 months since the death of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, but now new details are surfacing about his autopsy. A renowned pathologist says Epstein's body shows signs of homicide. RT's Trinity Chavez is outside of Jeffrey Epstein's home in New York, and she has the story.
A forensic pathologist hired by Epstein's brother to look into his apparent suicide is saying that after analyzing his autopsy, the findings are more consistent with homicidal strangulation. In an interview with Fox and Friends, Dr. Michael Batten, a former New York City medical examiner, said that Epstein has injuries that are extremely unusual in suicidal hangings and are more common in strangulation, which contradicts the chief medical examiner's conclusion.
More consistent with homicide, and in fact, at the time of the autopsy, the doctor doing the autopsy didn't think there was enough information to say suicide, so she put it pending further study, and then for some reason, and they want to know, the family wants to know why was it changed from pending further study to homicide afterwards.
Epstein was found dead in his prison cell just days before he was supposed to testify in a Manhattan court and potentially reveal names of multiple high-profile people who were involved in his alleged sexual abuse of women and underage girls. The timing of his death fueled theories from those skeptical that he committed suicide. Suspicions only grew when more irregularities around Epstein's high-profile death surfaced. The FBI, the Justice Department Inspector General, and the Bureau of Prisons all launched investigations into how Epstein died and found that multiple surveillance cameras outside of Epstein's cell were broken at the time of his death, and regular protocols were not followed with guards, which included skipping routine checks on Epstein, and they even fell asleep. Meantime, Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein, wants to know why his brother's cause of death was changed to suicide just 1 week after the medical examiner's office said the determination was pending further investigation. Now, Epstein's death has only sparked suspicions that he was actually murdered, and surely this new piece of information will only fuel those rumors. Reporting from outside of Epstein's home in New York, Trinity Chavez, RT.
All right, for more, we're joined by Jan Ronis, a criminal defense attorney who has been following the case and has worked with clients for many years in the same jail where Epstein died. Welcome. And let me ask you, first of all, what interest does the brother have in pursuing this maybe as a homicide as opposed to a suicide? Financially speaking, other than doing the right thing, is there a financial difference for the brother and the family, possibly?
I don't believe so, because I've seen reports that the brother is the sole beneficiary and the sole heir to his estate, and in fact, the money was left to him. So I can't see really a financial incentive. It's, for some reason, this new conspiracy theory, like other conspiracy theories, is floating around, and maybe he feels that he's going to right what he considers to be wrong. I mean, quite frankly, my vast experiences in criminal trials or civil trials, that you can get the world's greatest experts on opposing points of view to say anything that you really want them to say. Ultimately, that's not to suggest that this doctor doesn't feel that perhaps a homicide is possible, but quite frankly, this is the disagreement that always exists among experts.
Right. All right.
I don't agree. I don't agree. As long as you have secrets, I don't trust anything that comes out your mouth. That's how I get down. As long as y'all got secrets, I might agree with this. I don't know, if they went to Tupelo, Mississippi and slapping back Alabama and run around Florida and walk about Australia and blood pudding Ireland. You went all those towns, in fact, the smallest town you could, you get a bunch of coroners, po people, and with DNA kits, and they actually test the body, and they all confirm, and we know these people, and some sort of database, and all the people since first grade they knew all came together, said they're real people, they got the real job function. I might believe it. I might believe it. Sure that I don't believe it. They say, but that's just a crazy burden of proof. No, it's not. You've been lying to me since birth. That's just how it goes. Like you got somebody been lying to you, ex-boyfriend, a girlfriend, or whatever. They just lied. It never stopped. Just lie. Everything was lie. So what I gotta do to come back? What I gotta do to get you to believe my story? What I gotta do? Oh, you got to jump through some hoops. So it's got you got to put the hoops up. The hoops. No, I don't trust anything they say. If they're saying it now, but we were saying yesterday, then I think that's not true. We didn't go far enough. That's what I think. That's what I think. All right. I almost got in trouble too. Hanging out with y'all. Listen. I'm like a slave hiding in the field. I'm sneaky though. I'm sneaky. If I put masks on, never find my Facebook page. I had to go and deal with the TPS reports real quick. All right. The truth is out there like X-Files. Yeah, Susan, the truth is out there. It is out there. It's never in there. The truth is out there. And when I say in there, I'm talking about television. It's never in there. It ain't never in there. That's his program. It ain't never gonna be true. The king likes the fastest horse, and the king doesn't get the fastest horse unless you don't believe the story and keep pumping kings up and having lords and powerful people. The truth is out there. Thank you. It will never be in there. The truth is always at Elysium. It's never in CNN. Who the heck knows who anyone or what is happening with them? Well, some do. Some do, Susan. They're always at the top. It's never me, never us. All we have is our common sense and our ability to pick apart BS. That's it. Half the time it's not even about knowing what's true and making sure that makes sense. It's just knowing what isn't true. That's it. It's what isn't true. Now I know that ain't true. I know that ain't true. I know what ain't true. Let me tell you what ain't true. What ain't true is I've been eating healthy with a zit on my forehead. I know that ain't true. Nope, I've been eating chocolate, trying to make Ty feel better. I don't know, Ty, you feel any better? Look out for people. Ty, and we disagree. I see people got upset, some people left. Y'all don't understand how this works. You understand? I don't agree with Ty. We disagree. But I give a damn about Ty. And Ty got things to teach. And so we should listen. So I don't need to be upset because, you're saying nice things about somebody else. Stop it. Disagree with people. Those are the people you need to talk with the most. And that's not the people you need to block the most. It's people you need to talk to the most. People you disagree with. Because people you disagree with, they have different information, which means that they probably know something that you don't. You got to have that humility to be able to uncover that truth. All right, I'm on the wrong thing. I'm not going nowhere yet. I ain't going nowhere yet. Hold on. I'm going to change the music because the master just left. I might have a minute now. I rolled over, showed my neck. Yeah, you know what I'm saying when I say that? Rolled over, showed your neck. I rolled over, showed my neck. That's all. Sometimes master probably watching. Probably another dude watching. Like, look at this crazy monkey. It's like I think that he worked. Probably came in just to check. I rolled over, showed my neck. That's what dogs do. That's how we work. Half the time, the king and lords and masters, they just want to know that you will be compliant. They just want to know that you know who running things. They want to know that you going to vote. That's all they need to know. They need to know that you still voting on them. You still making sure that they got the fastest horse. Who got the fastest horse is your job. Ask that question. Go look at the parking lot. Who has the fastest horse? Right. And why do they have the fastest horse? Because we're still working for them. That's how it works. It's a great analogy. I think it fits. Many are told they have to lie, or they will be sleeping with the fishes. Because that's how it works, Susan. That's how the pyramid works, is that every level's got their degrees of lies. And once you get in, you gotta be complicit. You know, it's us at the bottom are stupid people who still believe it. Money versus integrity. The truth is within too. Yes, Susan, the truth is within common sense. That's where the truth is at, common sense. The news always lies. They said he suicided himself. Lie now. They're saying someone killed him. Killed them. Lie we know because the news lies, so it's official. He got new idea. That's what that's how my mind works. Thank you, John. That's how my mind works. That if you agreed up to the point where I was saying, then that means that you okay with me being at that level, which means that you're lying. That means that there's a little something more to the story. There's always a little something more to the story. All right. I'm gonna do the last comments and I'm gonna get out of here because y'all said I didn't do comments yesterday. Oh wait a minute, let me go down. Let me get down and see how many comments I have. It's a lot of them that they scroll off the top, so I couldn't even see. Maybe I look over here because I can't see them over there. People don't recognize that the incarcerated work for zero, about $1.29 per hour, and or good time, or that illegal immigrants are allowed to corporations proving need. There's a Fed application. All right, Ms. Tree, if I understand what you're saying, right? It's the slavery thing, right? It's the whole slavery thing. That once you're incarcerated, you're in a cage. You'll do anything to get out of that cage, which means if you're going to go work for 25 cents, you're going to go do it. I have a different perspective a little bit on the whole being used for slavery. Being let out of the cage is the only thing that keeps some of those people going. And so that's why I really don't say anything else about it. I mean, it's slavery, you know, but my problem isn't that they let them out and they pay them $1.25. My problem is that they're in there to begin with. That's my problem. My problem is they didn't break the Constitution or the Bill of Rights in any way. They didn't do anything wrong. They didn't break any sort of natural law or any real law. They broke Rothschild, Rockefeller laws. They broke Mellon laws and DuPont laws. Those are the things that they broke. So them getting out is a good thing. I think them getting out is a good thing. I think there needs to be more programs to allow them to not go, because anything they can use to fight going crazy, because that's why they put them in cages and try to make them animals so they can bring them back out here and scare people. So they can go make more money putting them back in, right? And we'll give away more of our rights. So I don't like the whole concept of slavery, but while we're in the current model right now, we have to have ways of letting people out to go work on a farm or go work at the Clinton's plantation or something to keep them from flipping too many of those warrior genes. But in the other part that I understand what you're saying is the immigration. Immigration isn't a problem. They still make money from it. They just like the conflict of it, right? They still use these people for slave labor, mid-sized and large businesses. Of course they're going to keep doing it. Why? Because it's just cheaper to pay somebody cheap. If the immigrants who are coming in are protected, then it means you got to pay them like a serious wage and give them like benefits and not just treat them like trash. They come here, you can have a free slave. Right? This is why I don't like the immigration debate, because both sides of the argument are controlled like everything else to make people stupid. That's why but I think that's what you're saying. We're all quite ignorant in different ways. We all are, Miss Tree, and the people who are the most ignorant are the ones who tell you that they're not. The ones who seem to know every damn thing. The more time I spend doing this, the more I realize that we don't know nothing. We don't know nothing. Certainly not enough to stand against somebody. Certainly not enough to go vote for some king or lord. Look at his eyes. That's certainly not enough to go vote for nothing. Hell, not me. I don't know enough. You do. I don't. Ham radios are now disallowed, unsupported in California. Safety and trafficking are only allowed the elite now. Well, okay, and that makes sense because ham radios are kind of like internet. People can talk and it's hard to censor them, so it makes sense that they will ban those things. Absolutely. Elitist socialism is how I like to refer as this big money. Yeah, elite socialism. Well, yeah, because we have socialism. We've always had corporate socialism. We're a corporate socialist nation. They get all the socialism here because everybody's fighting for poor crony capitalism. It makes no sense to me, but that's just what people want. It's normal to them. If you're born into it, it's normalized, right? If you're born into it, slavery is a good thing. It's a normal thing. But yeah, the corporations and the elites get all the socialism. They don't pay nothing. They don't pay no taxes. They don't do anything. Let me go down. Incarcerated, work for nothing. You get 25 cents, maybe a little bit more. but the prisons get like $29, or I'll ride for the inmate labor. Right, John, that's it. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Exactly. Because that's where the money's made. Cronyism. They get paid the money, they just don't give it to the slave. They keep it for the plantation. And people, they don't think it's slavery. That's why Trump's act was a great thing in freeing some of those slaves. Should have freed all of them, but he freed a hell of a lot more than any other president that I've ever heard of. So me and this whole racism thing, yeah, you're gonna have a little trouble with me on that. I was already questioning it. I think so far he's probably the least racist president we've ever had. See if that gets me in trouble. See if somebody gets mad at me later today for that. My inbox start popping out. Did you say Trump was the least racist president? What planet do you live on? I live in a planet called not CNN, not Fox, not MSNBC or CBS. I live in a planet that's based in measurable statistics and data. I like numbers. I don't like bullshit. I like numbers. And if numbers say that this man and his talking point that actually came true with the First Step Act, and he freed thousands of slaves, if not 10,000 slaves, then you need to question your reality. When your reality doesn't make sense, you need to question it. But like I said, I'm just not Team Trump. Nah, that's not me. It's team, if it's good, say it's good. Team, if it's bad, say it's bad. Because they always give you just enough. They give you just enough to keep you believing. The system is the problem, and they make sure that everybody within the system make it sustainable, which means everybody will do just enough good and significant profitable harm. All right. Life has wonderful laws and principles, not humans. Yeah, life does, Susan. We need to follow the laws of life. There's only one law. I saw a patient with a problem and came back. Y'all still here? Yeah, Lori, I had to go away too. I went away because the boss came and slavery happened. So I had to go out from behind my bush and pretend that I was picking cotton. Then I came back. Only because it's a horrible day out there. I think I'm gonna be slow today. Let me take one last look at the thing. Ooh, somebody calling me. Who called me? I'm on a video. So don't call me. Let me see if there's anything else real quick. Anything else in the old? Did I miss anything? Anything else that we need to address? Other than, let me see, kids need to know Kung Fu. Epstein is alive and healthy. And the people who paid the maximum price going to that damn island still suffering with the mental illness because the gateway drug, the gateway is trauma, and they all got the trauma, and you're okay with what the news tells you because you still believe in the king and that the king should have the fastest horse. Is there anything else we missed? That might sum up today. Let me see. Judge reinstates $200 million lawsuit against WAPO. I don't know what WAPO is, but nothing should have $250 million. That's a crime within itself. Nope, you should not have that. You cannot have $250 million of anything on the planet that your brothers and sisters and cousins die because they don't have $250 million of it. Okay? Can't have that. So that shouldn't even exist. Besides, you didn't have judges either. Why should we have judges? What do they know? They don't know anything. Judges don't know nothing about Miss Tree. Judges don't know nothing about Chris Lewis. Chris Lewis in the house. Judges don't know nothing about Matthew. Judges don't know nothing about. Judges don't know nothing. We judge. This whole judging thing needs to go away. Y'all need to stop judging people. That's the funniest thing. Aren't you know? Didn't we say that in like Sunday school? You're not supposed to judge people, and then we created an industry around around judging people, and the Christians are still voting for it. Prisoners denied access to sunlight. Yep, we're gonna go there. That's slavery. I won't look at that.
Many times, the most important news stories of the week often never make it past the mainstream news editors' desks and into the headlines, but
fake news. The real news never even, it's not making it past. It doesn't even get in. Okay? The news is the gateway. Real news about like the real world never even gets on television. All we see is residue and mild evidence of what's kind of sort of happening. Real news never gets in. Not that it doesn't get a lot of headlight in the media. Real news, what these billionaires and trillionaires are really up to, the ones who own the network, won't let any of their crimes anywhere near that network.
they do find life online. And it's these stories that our social media producer Devin Springer strives to bring you every week here on Watching the Hawks. And this week, Devin has found us a very disturbing story about how prison officials are quite literally extinguishing the light on prisoners in South Carolina. Welcome, Devin Springer. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Devin, so incarcerated people across the state of South Carolina are trying to blow the whistle on some pretty harsh human rights abuses. What exactly are those abuses and what led to them?
Well, I guess in order to talk about the abuses that they're currently fighting against, you have to know the history and context. So in 2017, Brian Sterling, who's the South Carolina Department of Corrections director, he essentially said that he wanted to weed out the use of cell phones and quote-unquote contraband within prisons, specifically in level 3 and level 2 prisons, or what we would know as sort of maximum security prisons. What came with this was less rec time, so that's less time outside, many windows being boarded, especially windows facing the yard where prisoners are allowed to go outside, because he said he didn't want them to see any contraband if there was any contraband outside. This also included less showers, with some prisoners reporting that they were only allowed to shower once a week, and a whole slew of things. In an interview, actually, Jared Ware, who's a journalist who's really been following this story pretty hard.
I'm gonna pause it for a minute. Trauma is the gateway drug. Trauma is the gateway drug. As long as they keep you violent, mentally ill, aggressive, angry, hateful, broken, as long as they keep you in trauma, the king will always have the fastest horse. Right? Why am I showing this? I'm showing it because I am under the belief system that we are supposed to speak for the voiceless. We are supposed to speak for the people who have the least voice. And that's not your big mouth politicians. That is not your big mouth leaders of any of these movements. That's not your big mouth leaders of white lives matter, black lives matter, blue lives matter, Christian lives matter, Muslim lives, not the big mouth people, the people who got no voice, the children that were born in a bad place and they ended up being treated in a way to try to make them monsters. They already had trauma from being born in your debt-based, artificially scarce society, and now they're trying to make them to true, natural born, and then traumatized killers. They take unfortunate people from unfortunate circumstances and they try to make them very dangerous people because it gives them more power. Trauma. Trauma is the gateway drug.
He interviewed 2 incarcerated people, and they talked about the conditions they were facing sort of in the midst of this crackdown on cell phones. And they said, quote, "It's like every blue moon before we even see any sunlight or daylight to be able to get rec time." What we are finding is that itself is causing a lot of attitude problems, a lot of aggressiveness. Another one said one of the things that they have is metal plates on the windows where you can't see outside, you can't see sunlight, you can't see the grass or daylight. So because of these conditions, in April of last year, there was a riot where 7 people were killed, 2 were hospitalized, and several were injured. And the New York Times and others reported that guards sat there and just watched it happen and didn't intervene for hours. Nope. So now, if you fast forward to today,
shouldn't be news to anybody. You already know, and some of the prison whistleblower, the COs, that they bet on the inmates. They play inmate fantasy games with their lives, what they do, with getting all kind of treatments thrown in a box. It's all a game. It's the same BS that's being played on the society out here, only they got a hell of a lot worse. Susan said that this is making her depressed. Please don't let it make you depressed, because Susan, one, we ain't got time for that. Honestly, we ain't got time for that. We don't have time for that. We got people we got to fight for, and we ain't got time for that. We're not fighting for, speak for. Speak, fight. Walk away, fight. We got people that we need to be in solidarity with. And there were times, Susan, that we didn't know this, right? You know, as much as I'll get down on all the mainstream media and I'll get down on RT, the reality is we wouldn't know this if it weren't for them, right? Unless you didn't know the people. It's a bunch of friends here who've been incarcerated, right? If we didn't have such a mass mainstream media time, and eventually they're not gonna allow this stuff on social media, by the way, okay? They don't like anything that prevents the kings from having the fastest horses. They have to keep us in conflict and breaking people in the prison system. Children is one of the great ways that you can keep people in conflict with each other. So don't let it be depressed. We ain't got time to be depressed. What we got time to do is share. That's what we got time. We got time to share and stop playing these games. That's what we got time. So we live in a great time. We live in a great time. The wise man I think his name, not mistake, was G.I. Joe. His name might have been Duke G.I. Joe. He said, knowing is half the battle. This half the battle right here, y'all. This half the battle. In fact, I'm going to be honest with you. No, it's not. This is probably 99% of the battle. Let's say 98. 98% of the battle is knowing people are being treated like worse than monsters, slugs, slime, and ochre. We treating these people, we don't even treat them like dogs. They don't get the treatment of dogs. Knowing is 98% of the battle. You need a 1%, which is your empathy, that'll take you up to 99, and 100% of the battle is walking away. That's that last 1%. Giving up, saying nope, nope. That's how I work. That's how I get down. You're not allowed to kill people. You're not allowed to kill people. You're not allowed to imprison people. You're not allowed to rape people. You're not allowed to send weapons to countries to have towns of warlords that rape people. You're not allowed to drop nukes on people. You're not allowed to bomb children. That's it. I think that's all my rules. I think those are all my rules, because you can't have my vote. You can't have my like, my subscribe. You can't have my friendship. You can't have any of that. I get that you were born into that crap and you believe that, but I unfortunately don't have a choice. I am someone who actually believes in the teachings of Christ, okay? I'm not a Christian. I believe Christ, okay? You're not supposed to do those things, or I'm not supposed to have any part with you. No, I'm not fearful of what'll happen. I'm not fearful of what'll happen if I walk away from you. I just know I'm not supposed to support you. I'm not supposed to be in your party. I'm not supposed to have anything to do with you. I'm supposed to, if anything, chastise you. Not tie somebody on here who's actually trying to change things. These people did nothing wrong.
They've essentially been without sunlight this whole time on lockdown, only being allowed to go outside for maybe an hour a day, sometimes weeks without no sunlight and no outside recreational time at all.
All because of cell phones.
Because of cell phones, allegedly, right? And it's this massive crackdown on contraband, even though studies show, and we know most contraband comes in through prison guards themselves.
I was gonna say, I'm sitting here like, where'd they get it?
It's not coming in through the sunlight.
Right, I'm like, the sun is not.
No, they came from the guards. Where do you think contraband comes from? Vernon said the prison guards are in a high-risk job. Prisoners, they are. Prisoners and wardens, they do have a high-risk job. Why? Because trauma's the gateway drug for profit. And so they got to pay them a lot more because their lives are at risk, and their lives should be at risk because you got human beings in cages being abused. Hell yeah, their lives should be at risk. That's how this works. You don't get to take a human being and treat it like a monster and don't expect it to be, and then tell it who it's going to be a monster to. Doesn't work that way. And that's where all the contraband come from the guards. The whole thing is corrupt from the top to the bottom. People still believe in it, and that's why it's still there. Nope, there is no justice, Lori. It's just us. And these are children. These are children. All you got to do is wipe out all your indoctrination, and you ignore the skin color, ignore the ethnicity, ignore the religion, and just look at these and say, these are babies. These are babies born on this planet that we allow to be treated like the dirt.
Not bringing it in.
Exactly, and the UN and Amnesty and international groups actually say that depriving someone of sunlight and outdoor time for lengthy amounts of time is a form of torture and psychological warfare.
Wow.
And they're right about that. But to contradict the UN, I also want to say dropping bombs on babies' heads because you want to put a Rothschild bank in their nation is also a bad idea. Right? There's always a good little degree of things. We talked about the UN yesterday. I don't want to go on that nonsense. But no, they're not a good organization. Do they do good things? Yeah, they do. Everybody does good things. Trump does good things. Obama did good things. Clinton did something good. It's not coming. It's not coming to my mind right now. I'm sure Clinton did something good because Clinton got in office and people, right. Clinton went to the ghetto and played the saxophone and was hugging and kissing black babies. Little nigger baby. Everybody does good things. And everybody thinks that they're good. That's the mind's trick, right? Is everybody thinks they're good. Everybody thinks they're a good guy. And in people who are doing bad things, they convince themselves that something good is gonna come out of it. And that's that psychology you gotta process. That's why we need kids to not only know Kung Fu, but y'all need to send these kids into psychology. And what's the other one? Psychology and critical thought and philosophy. Like, it's not just about knowing how sick things are today. It's understanding why they're made to be sick and where this all ends up if we don't stop. So anyway, let the brother keep talking. This is a young man. This is what maybe he was. What is he? Oh, he's an RT social media specialist. Okay, I thought he might have been one of the inmates.
Oh, wow, that's incredible.
So one of the things is we've seen letter writing campaigns. We've seen on this issue, and we reported about it here and talked about like how many protests, how many national strikes, how many things can you do? So now it seems like we're kind of left with very little options to actually make change. So what is next? How are?
Oh! Let me answer. Can I answer? I want to answer. I'm gonna answer. I want to answer. I want to answer so bad. Oh, so bad. I want to answer so bad. Oh my goodness. Yes, I want to answer. Yes, I want to answer. One, they don't read your letters. You can stop right. Let me hang on. Dang it. Let me show you a picture of the king. Look at the king's eye. Like he gonna read your letter. Do you think he give a damn? Okay. The Republicans, they don't read your letter. They don't care nothing about your letters. The staffers read the letters, number one. They're not gonna read your letter. They don't care about your letter. They don't care about your Sharpie sign. The only purpose, the only help protests bring is awareness. That's all they do. They don't bring anything else. And that only brings awareness if you have a very clear message. And your message, and it has a powerful message if it's not based in race, religion, group, nationality, nonsense, right? If it's a universal message, your protest will be powerful. But protest can bring awareness, so you don't want to do none of that. You hit them where it hurts. Okay, you want to make a difference? Look at where it hurts and hit them where it hurts. Why does that little girl know how to do Kung Fu? Because if y'all ever put her on Democrat and Republican Island, she gonna kick somebody where it hurts. That's why. Hit them where it hurts. What do they do to human beings? They hit them where they hurt. Food, water, house. All those things, the prices consistently go up because they play keep away with the human race. Hit them where it hurts. What do they want? That's all you gotta do is look at what they want and what they need. They need your vote. They need your consent. That's what they need. As long as they get that, they're gonna keep rolling with it. Hit them where it hurts. That's the only place it hurts. The letters don't hurt. The Sharpie signs don't hurt. The protests don't hurt. The sad feelings don't hurt. The tears don't hurt. The people who put this system together are politicians. They write laws. They're not changing the laws because they don't have to change the laws because you think it's racist. You think it's this fantasy construct nonsense that there is no fix for and there's no measurement of. The prison system is very fixable, but it means you got to stop writing laws to put more people in it. You got to reduce the amount of people in it, and that's what they don't want to do. I got to do a show with Chris. I ain't done a show with Chris in a minute. Let's let this wrap up.
Are they going to get attention for their plight without these sort of normal avenues?
Right, definitely. And the irony of, currently...
Last thing. I'm sorry, I got to say one more last thing. If you want to support the troops, you listen to the veterans. Same thing applies here. If you want to support fixing the prison system, the slavery system, the popular system of incarceration, children en masse, talk to a veteran of it. That's what you do. That's what you do. Learn their experience. There are a couple people on the thread. I don't want to put anybody on blast, but go talk to, that's the wrong spot. That's the king. Don't talk to the king. Don't do that. It's because everything's backwards. If you want to know how wars work, talk to the people who fought in them and came home. Find out if the wars are what they say they are. Find out if this is a good activity we should be in. You want to know what's happening in the prison system? Don't talk to the king. The king wants the fastest horse. It's like this. Look at that right here. Boom! There's people right here. You go talk to somebody. Last brother I talked to who came out of the prison system, one of my best friends growing up. He said things I don't think I'd ever even repeat. He said things that He's my best friend growing up. But the things that they did to him in prison are just unfathomable. They're unfathomable. I tried to get him on the show. I tried to get him at some point in time to talk about just some of the stories, some of the things. I mean, the reason that these prison shows do good on the network is because people can't believe the stories. Like, it is so fantastical, the things that they do to these children. It makes Epstein Island look like fun happy. And this is what I'm saying. This is where I go with this. This is what I'm saying. Don't get all upset about Epstein Island. Don't get all upset about that. Because I see hypocrisy everywhere. So I posted the other day. I was thinking about Michael Vick. I was like, you mean to tell me if they put Michael Vick in prison and they said that they killed him, everyone would have been like, no, they didn't. I want to see the body. I need to see the foot, fingerprint him, eye check. I want to see everything. Because he was hurting puppies. So you mean to tell me that you don't want proof that this man is actually done and he was killing babies? We are hypocrites and we're lost. Well, they were boycotting the NFL. Y'all remember that? Michael Vick, when he did that? They were boycotting the NFL. They were boycotting the team. They were boycotting everything. People had Sharpie signs. They were outraged. Well, you couldn't get that out the news because they were hurting dogs. We have Epstein Islands everywhere. We have a model of Epstein Islandism, where people pick and choose their kings and their lords and what they say is true and ain't true. I'm gonna go on a ledge and say that I know enough people who served time in the United States slavery prisons to say that almost every single prison in this country is an Epstein Island. You've got guards getting away with things. You've got rape, you have murder, you have trafficking, you have hunting, you have fight clubs, you have all of it. All of it. All of it. That's why I'm saying you got to speak for the voices. Use your privilege to speak for people who cannot speak for themselves. That's why they take the cell phones. That's because they don't want you speaking. Remember that time that what happened? The power went out. Where was that? Texas? Power went out at that slave plantation, and everybody, and they had no heat. I mean, they had no air conditioning in the prison. And it was like 105 degrees and people were dying and the inmates were looking out and they were yelling and screaming out the window. The cars driving by that they didn't have any air conditioning, they were dying. You don't vote for that, man. This something that you think is smart to vote for? You think Donald Trump is the problem? That's why I come to the defense of him half the time. I come to the defense of because I hate your hypocrisy. I hate your games and I hate your bullshit. I do. I love you to death, but you're too gullible. You're too naive. There are people who really need your help. And ain't no damn Democrat in no office. Ain't no damn Republican neither. There are real people who need real help. I said another one. There are real children that need real help from you. And I know you give a damn because I see you all day on social media. I see all that passion in your commentary. You're foolish. You're gullible because you trust the king. But there are real people who need real help. All right, let me let this finish up and get out of here. Before I get emotional. I get upset. I don't like slavery. I don't think Democrat slavery is any better than past slavery and Republican slavery. Slavery is slavery.
We have our operations where...
Don't hurt children. Bottom line, leave them alone. Leave them alone. You're down to 26, leave them alone. It ain't your business what they're up to. They don't have a frontal lobe yet. They're not human yet. They have no obligation to any of your human laws because they're frontal lobe laws because they don't have a frontal lobe yet. Okay?
We're calling China authoritarian and all these different countries, but prisoners in the U.S. have almost no outlet. They're not allowed to speak to media. They actually have to speak anonymously to media because they don't want to face repression. So the first response was in August of last year, there was a national prison strike. We reported on this show and had a great guest on to talk about it. And there's been, like you said, call-in campaigns, letters, but they just can't get the word out and it's not making any changes. So now what they've done is they've actually had advocates on the outside deliver letters that they've written to the UN in various cities around the world, including DC, New York City, Jamaica, and the UK, and they're hoping to add more to that, essentially to UN offices all around the world. And inside one of their messages that was sent to the UN, it says, quote, prisoners have attempted to find support through the legislature. They've sought lawyers willing to sue over the conditions, and they've organized national protests. None of their calls have been heard. The conditions within South Carolina prisons continue to get progressively worse, and hopelessness is set in, as reflected by the number of deaths and suicides in recent years. Wow. So it's coming to a point now where there's an urgency, and they're saying, we now have to take it international. We want the UN to look at this.
Okay. There are good people in the UN. Like They're good police officers. They're good people in NSA, good people in Washington, they're good people. The UN is an organization that is there for power. Can anything good come out of handing a letter to somebody in the UN? Possibly. You hand it, put it in the right hands. Good people everywhere. Good people in the pharmaceutical industry. Good people administering flu shots and vaccines who don't really question certain things. That's not going to help. This is not a time of let's get together and try to figure this out and modify some laws. To me, we have immediate fixes right now that need to occur. And they're not going to occur without something extreme. And extreme is not writing a letter. Extreme is not pretending you know the worst things that happen in prisons. The inmates don't even know the worst things that happen in prisons. Like women don't know the worst thing that happened to women. And all you need is just a little bit of foresight to think about. The worst you never get to hear about. The worst gets swept up and covered up and is gone. All you know is it's bad and it needs to stop. That's all you need to know. It's bad, it needs to stop, and it needs to stop now. And the only way that's going to happen is if you hit them where it hurts. And that is not the UN, because these people are all in league. The UN gets their money just from the same place your federal government does, okay? These central bankers, and they print the money. Can you make headway? Yeah, you can make some headway. You can make little modifications in government. You can't change it. You make some little modifications to laws. These people don't need modifications. We don't need to help one group of people. We need to help all of them. You should not have this. Walk away. Let it go. If you think slavery's a bad idea, you ain't got no damn business voting. If you think war is a bad idea, you ain't got no damn business voting. If you think dropping bombs on babies is a bad idea, why in the hell are you posting on your social media for me to like your king? Your king's model is based in him having the fastest horse or her, which means they need to keep the people apart and in conflict financially, physically, psychologically, in traumas. All right, Christine said, transformation. All right, I need to let this wrap up. I gotta get out of here.
That breaks my heart to think that, like, you know, we actually have to have, in order to find people justice who are locked up in this country, that we have to go to outside this country in order to make that happen.
It shouldn't break your heart, dummy. I mean, guy. He's a brother. He's a bald brother. I'm sorry. It shouldn't break your heart. You shouldn't be surprised. This is how the system works. You got a bank account. That's how this works. They make us all complicit with the system because we won't walk away.
It's truly tragic.
It is.
It shouldn't break your heart.
And it's part of
That's how your
major
nation
the
works.
core of the problem that our entire penal system is about punishment, not rehabilitation. It's not about healing. And that's the part where
No, and it's not about punishment. It's not about rehabilitation. It's not about healing. It's not about any of that. It's about money. That's it. That's it. Because like they say, oh, we got to change the prison system and make it about fixing the bad guys. They're not bad guys. They're children, okay? They're not bad people. There are no bad people. You have bad environments. You don't have bad people. You have people, side effects of traumas aren't bad people. They're side effects of traumas. Until you deal with the system, you deal with the environment, you're not dealing with anything. You know, but there's always this, we need to reform the prison system. No, we don't. We need to make it go away. That's what we need to do. Need to make it go away. The whole thing needs to go away. And it's not going to go away as long as you're voting for people and parties that require keeping it. They've already taken the money. They're not going to change nothing. Transformation, what Christine said. All right, let me see. Some of the prisoners in these prisons, particularly the privately contacted or contracted, are written up for violations over and over just before their tentative release. It's a racket. Right, mistreated because they want to keep them in. The recidivism rate. I can't spell it, but I know how to say it. Recidivism rate. They want to break you. They don't want to let them out because their jobs are based on keeping them in. And if their jobs are based on keeping them in, then they want to jack them up, beat them up, do anything they can to keep them in, because it's an ego thing too, right? Like they become a part of the system, the CEOs. They get in there and they feel like, you know, you become the people you spend most time with every day, and they become them, right? And they got that whole thugism thing going on too, where they're tough and they're not going to let you out, so they can give you some strikes because they're going to put you in conflict with somebody else. And if they can do that, they can give you some cigarettes or a cell phone to start a fight with you or something stupid to keep you in. And if you actually get out, they make it hard for you to stay out, right? Because you have a parole officer and you gotta have a job, and you gotta have a house and stable, and they keep checking up on you, or they throw you back in, right? They treat you like a slave. And your legislators wrote these laws. They're not out there to change that, right? That's what I'm saying. The problem isn't racism. The problem isn't the police. The problem is you have no idea how to look down at a root cause and know where the trauma's coming from. The traumas are profitable. All right. Susan said, prisons make tons of money. Yes, they do, and the politicians need money to be reelected. They're not bad people, but they need the money. So you need good, bad, or indifferent. I don't believe in bad people. To get the job and keep the job, they got to take the most amount of money from the corporations, and these corporations are all involved in these social ills that we shouldn't be involved in. So in order for the party to stay in office, they got to take the money and convince you they're going to make some changes and not make the changes. That's how they stay in power. It's that simple. You wanna ruin your day? You wanna ruin your day? Like if you're like that bald dude who was shocked by this, watch that documentary on Khalid Browder. I told everybody watch it anyway. Watch the documentary on Khalid Browder that Jay-Z did, or watch the 13th Amendment. It'll ruin your day. It'll ruin your day. I couldn't even watch it. I watched it. But I watched the Khalid Browder documentary. Was somebody post that link? It was I think it was 3 parts. I can only watch 1 part a day. It will break your heart to actually realize what your government's up to. Let me see. Yeah, low vibe paradigm, Susan. They keep these kids in low vibe paradigms, so they'll keep doing profitable things that they'll just keep throwing them back in prison for and scaring everybody into giving up more of their rights to write more laws. And now we got pre-crime coming in the new Patriot Act. We literally manufacture terrorists in our country and abroad, and then they pretend to fight. Just like the pharmaceutical industry. Who is that? No Clef? Exactly, No Clef. That's the exact same thing. Is the pharmaceutical industry. You create the problem, and then you kind of create a solution to the problem and make a business out of it. You know, and you keep everybody focused on the side effects. Racism, side effect. Right? Side effect. They come up with side effects and they keep you to fight the side effects instead of the original trauma. Drug use, side effect. Opioids, side effect. You know, terrorism, side effect. These are all side effects, and that's how the pharmaceutical industry makes so much money, is no one's dealing with the root problem of you got 7 billion different types of people, and they have 7 billion different types of bodies and requirements. There are no drugs that do the same thing to anybody, but they convinced everybody this to be true. All right, they're playing with the fees. This is how I know I need to go. They're making things disappear. Most in prison should be let free. Lori, I would say all of them in prison need to come out. I think, well, let me say it this way. Lori, I think everybody in prison should be free. Not all of them can come out. You have to be careful there. Everybody in prison needs to be free. But I'll fall back on James Fallon and say that some people they've been so traumatized by this system of lies and corruption, greed and profit and cronyism, that they need some additional support. You can't just let people go back in the street that's going to turn around and just rape somebody because they've been raped and beat up in prison and they think that that's normal, right? You have to, pleasant people or people in pleasant environments become pleasant people. You know? And so we need to get them out of the current institutionality, that current institution, that whole model, the whole thing needs to be shut down and destroyed. To me, it's like child protection, foster care. That whole thing, you need to burn the whole thing up and start all over, right? The model and basis of a thing can't be profit and it can't be punishment, you know, and it can't be money. The model and basis is someone has behavior that we don't want in our society, which is pretty much no law to do. Behavior we don't want in our society. We need to fix this person. This person is broken. Right? This person probably came from an abusive home, an abusive environment, or certainly was born within borders of an abusive government. And we need to fix that behavior. Like all of it needs to go, but none of it can stay. Like all the mindsets, the wardens, the COs, the politicians, like all of that has to go because they're all completely on the wrong mark. And the kids are the side effects of that. It should be obvious. All right. Let me me see. Who is that? Is that Jeannie? Jeannie says she's driving, listening now. Well, Jeannie, then why are you typing? You need to look at the road. Violent behavior can also be brought on by head injuries. Right, Megan. That's the other thing. And that's what they did to Khalid Browder. They put him in, and they put him in a gang unit. Was he 16 when they put him in there first? When the slave catchers grabbed him off the street, and they put him in a gang unit. In the gang unit, he was fighting every day, and create those head traumas, and then he was gone at a certain point in time. But when he finally got out, he committed suicide. He couldn't take it. So yeah, they use drugs to create that. They'll use head trauma. They'll do anything they can to break people and make them violent and aggressive and crazy and scare us and themselves and each other. Because if we're constantly fighting each other, then you can't help anybody. Right? It's the same thing with the left and right. They're constantly put in bouts with each other. They're constantly fighting each other. So neither one is doing any damn good. They hate each other so much. They're just so locked into that false reality that they're fighting each other that they can't help themselves. Elementary schools should focus on nurture first. Absolutely, Lori. And I think the way you do that is you got to get rid of that Department of Education. You got to get to teachers who love kids back to teaching, not the people who can't do anything else in life right now. The Department of Education broke all of that. The Department of Education wants to send money to schools. Great. Your ideas, keep them to your damn self. Teachers are professionals. They know how to profess. Let them profess. They like kids. That's why they went into teaching. They like to teach. They don't need your help. Very small classes teach empathy. Yeah, they do. And very small groups probably can have a little more empathy, perhaps. But when you get big, aggressive groups like a left and a right, then you start taking away that empathy. But I don't like groups at all. I'm just an anti-group person. I've always been pretty independent though. I don't like joining groups. Let's see. So tragic to write. It is tragic. You know, the most tragic thing about it, Susan, though, is that I support it. That's the most tragic thing. I regret the fact that I was ever a part of any of these political groups or any of this nonsense that spurred this on. And parents need to parent their children. Right, Kim? And that's why I believe in the resource-based economy. Free the parents up. We need to free the parents up so they can actually raise the kids. We need to get the humans going back to doing human things, not corporate things, not banker things, not big corporation, not billionaire, things that determine their life. Let humans be free. Let them go back to doing the things that they do best. Loving and raising, making new humans, bringing on a time of abundance and something fantastic. Jobs shouldn't exist. Career shouldn't exist. It's all slavery. It's all forced labor. Nobody should be forced to do anything. As long as you're peaceful, nobody should be forcing you to do anything. Yes, zombie humans who are hypnotic, don't think, and just program, and all the low vibe stuff. Yes, Susan, that is exactly what the TV and news does. It keeps everybody low vibing, so they do low vibe things. And they don't even see it. That's the scary part. They don't even see, they see they're low vibing and they're fighting the social media comment sections, and they just bring in the negativity, just bring in the aggression and the violence and the craziness, and they don't see it. But all you can do is love people like that and just kind of keep sharing with them. Hopefully they pull up the speed and start to see the negative vibes that they're hitting on those strings and string theory that connects everybody and everything together. Not just be enslaved to jobs to survive. Right. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Hillary said, fire Betsy DeVos. I agree with that, but I think Betsy DeVos, she was right about the Department of Education that it should go away. I think it's not the butt in the chair is the problem. I think the whole thing needs to go. The whole thing needs to go. We need to actually prioritize children and just send money to these principals and the school districts so we can stop making that whole prison from, was it elementary to prison pipeline? What do they call it? School to prison pipeline? Sometimes I wonder if they don't encourage mental illness and even physical illness because it's something else that keeps people prisoners, consuming all their thought and energy caring for people who are sick. Yeah, I think that's probably true to me in terms of like empaths and taking on that negative energy, but we definitely have conflict-based societies that pit people against each other and create mental illness as a business model. Let me see. Deanie, why are you still typing? You're driving. What's wrong with you? Y'all tell us stop. You still typing? Just drop the boys, longest night ever. Now it's gonna be the longest day ever you crash that car, because you know they know what y'all typing. They know what you're doing while you're driving. You know that, right? All the equipment that these police cars have, they know everything. I bet you they got a device in there they can see the data being uploaded. They know you're watching movies, not driving. Drive your car. Stop typing. They're gonna pull all that data to get you in trouble if you get in a car accident. All right, let me get down. I gotta get out of here. Get down. Get down. It's so difficult in this country to get help for a loved one with mental illness, right, Megan? And that began, dang it, Miss Witt. That began with was it Reagan? Was it Reagan who threw away all the money for the mental illness, the institutions that we used to take care of them? Now we just threw them all out in the street, and they all went into the prison system. That was a good act. That was one of the best actions to show you that they don't give a damn. They really don't care. They want crazy people to scare you, and they'll do everything they can to make more crazy people. Crazy people aren't that crazy. They're just scared. They live in scarce environments. They become the warriors that we make them through our apathy. Somebody blowing up 2 tires. That's right, Gerard. That's unsafe. Yes, Gerard. Okay, Susan. I don't know what's unsafe. Everything is. There's nothing safe about this existence. Hunter's parked now. Good. I'm glad you're parked, Hunter. You can start typing, but I gotta get out of here because 1, I gotta pee. 2, I'm in slavery. Lots of laughter. Is Reagan also sounds familiar to me? Yeah, the name. Yeah, because it was a law. I forgot what the name of the law was. But he closed all the mental illness institutions, and they all went to the prison system, or they just roamed in the street. All right. Last comment, so I can go, please. Last comment. Closing word. Bottom line is the Kings want the fastest horses, and as long as we take care of the horses, as long as we keep voting for them, as long as we making sure they have the best horses in the breakaway civilizations, the next generation is going to have a whole lot more crap to deal with. Governments tithe to their people, and the 1/10 of the 1% are their bosses. Very few families run this global show. I think so, Miss Tree, and I think there's actually a lot less than what we know, because like there's always different levels and matrices. You have people who live in that matrix of what's on TV is true. That's like the lowest level. They still watch TV and they think the billionaires' TV is true. And then there are probably people who try to see beyond that, but they still believe in government. And then there are people who probably see beyond that, and they see money, and they see those 100 or so families. Then there are people who see beyond that, and they see what the societies, somebody did a map of this not too long ago. Soros are fighting the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, those guilds or whatever. And they're all on TV, and we know about them. And that's how I know that they're not the top of the power. The top of the power, you never get to know. The most powerful people in this world, the kings, you'll never see on television. You'll never know their names, the names of their families, or anything. They run everything. So keep calm. Remember, the kings have the fastest horses. They get out of every battle. Every single battle that occurs, they will always get away. Don't be stupid. Don't get caught up in one of the king's battles and you don't have a horse. This man's name was Longshanks for a reason. See that picture right there? Everybody out there, all the lords got horses. When it comes to an end, the king is always going to get away. The king always has a plan B, and he'll never tell you about the plan B. Now, neither will she. Because they need you to believe, and they need you to fight with your life and your kid's life, because you're a serf and a peasant. Don't believe their TV, don't believe their news, don't believe their releases, don't believe that they're actually helping you, don't believe their laws. We need a free society, resource-based economy, an automated world where we can free human beings and let them become the great things that they're supposed to be. Anyway, I had to get going. This is Gerard. Y'all have a wonderful day. I am out of here. Bye and bye.
That's half the fun of a new house. Seeing what people...
I sent for him, and he sent you.
Shall I leave, my lord?
If he wants his queen to rule when I am gone, then by all means stay and learn how. Please. Nobles. Nobles are the key to the door of Scotland. Grant our nobles lands in the north, give their nobles estates here in England, and make them too greedy to oppose us.
But, sir, our nobles will be reluctant to uproot. New lands mean new taxes, and they're already taxed for the war in France.
Are they? The trouble with Scotland is that it's full of Scots. Perhaps the time has come to reinstitute an old custom. Grant them prima nocte. First night, when any common girl inhabiting their lands is married, our nobles shall have sexual rights to her on the night of her wedding. If we can't get them out, we'll breed them out. That should fetch just the kind of lords we want to Scotland. Taxes or no taxes, eh?
A most excellent idea, sire.
Is it?
I called up my friends at Target.